What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kinda Funny Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside Denim Denim, Nick Scarpino.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing?
Welcome back.
Thank you for.
How was Chicago?
It was very good.
Chi-town.
Thank you for asking.
I tracked your progress on Instagram.
Thank you. I do it like NORAD with Santa.
Yeah.
See where Greg's at.
It looked like a really good weekend.
It was a fun
You got to see Endgame again, which
I
was
went and
great.
saw Endgame again.
Very cool.
And that was the power of seeing Endgame again, right? Now, stick with me. This isn't a knock or this isn't an attack, but we went and saw it. So we flew into Chicago.
I hate all Italians.
Flew into Chicago, right? After the night before we saw Endgame with everybody. Flew into Chicago on an early flight. Drank all day with the cousins.
Hell yeah.
Hung out with Dad. Then went to see Endgame at 11 o'clock.
Ooh. Why
So
would you do that?
well, that's what they bought. They were all very excited to see it opening night, and that's how it all worked out. I went there, and but on this one it was great because, like, cool. Here's one of my favorite scenes. All right, now I'm gonna close my eyes. Now I'm gonna wake up. Oh, cool. We're in this scene. I like this scene, but not enough. Close my eyes. Wake back up. Perfect timing. Let's go. Rest of the movie. Let's go.
Fantastic.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't.
You pulled
that I didn't like the other scenes.
Makuga. You pulled the Josh Makuga.
Josh Makuga at the press screening of Avengers fell asleep. There's a difference when you don't know what the fuck's
Monsters,
happening.
the
You
lot
know what I
of
mean?
them.
That's
When
great.
you don't know what the hell's happening, different story. When you're exhausted after cross-continent travel, I think you're excused.
saying
But it's also only 9 o'clock our time.
Yeah,
there's
no,
11
but
o'clock
I don't buy
screening.
that. That's the whole thing. And by the way, this is Christmas in April, Joey Noel.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Over there. Tim and all the
Sure, all the
AKAs and all that
things
jazz.
is me.
I'll give you another one day. But no, I don't buy that. For our lives, that I don't buy it. When it's, what are you talking about? It's only blank year time. I'm like, no. The trick about how we are able to do this all the time is that
Pretend the time doesn't exist.
I'm constantly exhausted.
Yeah.
You can give me a chance to sleep anywhere, and I'm like, oh great, it's bedtime. I don't give a shit about what time zone I'm in. That's the least of my
Pulling a
problems.
Finnegan
I feel that.
on that one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Falling
you know what I
asleep
mean. Like
anyway.
people, don't you get jet lag? I'm like, no, we said goodbye to that years ago. Now it's just a constant
It's just
state of
constant
exhaustion,
work and pain.
trying to keep this business afloat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
3 podcasts a day, 8 days a week.
Right? Yeah, I'm gonna sleep like a
Solid.
baby on my 8 o'clock flight to LA, and I'm not even gonna worry about
Hell
what
yeah,
time
you
zone
are.
I'm in. I'm just going there.
Yeah,
I tell you what,
that's
racking
great.
those fucking miles
You
up.
may Timothy Gettys, aka
Jesus Christ.
the engaged one.
Did you, what format did you watch the movie in the second time?
AMC Cantera. Oh no, Regal Cinemas Cantera. That's what they call the movie theater there, Cantera. Hadn't been there
not
since I was in
IMAX.
high school. No, it was not.
No
IMAX.
Dolby.
It was just a normal ass theater, I think. I don't know.
Because Kevin and
here-
I watched it in IMAX. Totally fucking worth watching again in IMAX.
Here's what I do want to tell you.
It's
all
so
right,
good.
If I may, Tim,
You may.
and I don't do this lightly.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
A tip of the hat to you.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Because I'll tell you
Thank
what, after seeing it in Dolby and then going to a normal theater,
Yeah,
I was like,
it's
now I
rough.
get it.
Yep.
Now I get the black and black shit. I understand what they're talking about.
It's one of those things where, like, I like to just disagree with Tim just for the sake of disagreeing with him. But I forget, I think it was Spider-Verse. You're like, Nick, just shut the fuck up and come see Spider-Verse with me in Dolby. I'm like, it's all the same. It's great. Even actually, and you see it rippled. Like I sat next to Andrea and John, and I was like, no, you guys are going to love this. And it got to the part where it's like the projector's still on, and John audibly laughed. He was like, ha, all right then. Like we got Grandpa John on board.
But see, even that, like I had seen that before. Now, obviously, I see one being not as dark one, or when they do the side by side, and it's still like I just don't get it. But then when I was watching, like, oh man, a lot less detail in this one. I see what's happening.
It's just a little more
exactly.
washed
The sound,
out.
I keep telling you guys, it's the sound that matters the most.
Sure.
Dolby's Atmos sound is so good. The black level stuff is nice, but the rest of it.
It's
but
it's
IMAX
the whole package.
is a different experience because the IMAX,
It's tall.
It's tall, but like this movie shot in IMAX, second full feature ever shot in IMAX, first being Infinity War. You get so much. Like
Oh, yeah.
Kevin leaned over to me at some point and was just like, I can't imagine the movie we watched last week. Like, what are they cutting off? This all seems so important. It's like you're getting a good
Gotta make a choice.
20% more.
Turns out the Fantastic Four are up in the rafters the entire
That was
time.
the craziest thing. I didn't expect that.
Are you guys sure? We haven't introduced you yet. Fuck off. Who's over there, Kev?
Kevin.
Yeah.
Can you see what camera system they used for that? Was it Arri? Was it the 65?
Lenses. They had lenses.
They did have lenses.
Lenses
And
on
you
the
guys saw
camera.
it in 3D, correct?
We did see 3D IMAX.
How do you feel about 3D IMAX?
I've always been a 3D, like, I'm fine with it. It is not how I want to watch a movie the first time. I'm a purist, but then I'm like, give me all the goddamn gimmicks you can.
Yeah.
I would have watched it in D-Box if
that
it
the one
got
with the
better
shaky
reviews.
seats?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
They
that
come out in
But it got bad reviews, so I was like, no.
They got bad reviews for D-Box.
The D-Box.
That's a
did.
thing.
Like it's too much shaking?
D-Box?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, they have
That's
a tampering.
awesome.
It sounds dirty,
It sounds
right?
really
It's
dirty.
weird. It's a normal
Yo,
theater.
how far did you get last night? D-Box.
D-Box.
It's a
got it.
normal
D-Box.
theater, normal auditorium, but like 6 of the seats in one of the rows are like crazy ass roller coaster seats.
Sure, yeah. No, I wouldn't want that. I'm good.
It's great.
Yeah,
It's
I think
super
I'm okay
fun.
with just
Yeah.
IMAX.
You click on
Yeah,
that one.
we saw Last
Required a
Jedi
custom 6K
with it.
camera. I wanted that there. You guys can keep talking. I'm just gonna.
No, that's fine. We can all just
Oh, it
stare
is
at
the area.
screen.
It's the Area 65.
Now, that's what we shoot on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we shoot on $120,000 cameras.
This is the same camera that they shot Game of Thrones with, but
It's the same camera system, not the same camera.
But-
Probably.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
But pregnant butt there.
Oof.
What's your butt there? You were unhappy last night with that?
HBO streaming, man.
Yeah,
They're
right.
fucking-
That compression, man. That was rough last night. That was rough.
Garbage.
Yeah.
It's garbage.
A lot of bad
But not
gradients.
garbage is IMAX or Avengers in IMAX. Totally worth watching again if you have the means.
I definitely want to see it again.
And if
for
you do,
sure,
I recommend
because
IMAX.
I think I'm going to. I really enjoyed it the first time around. Obviously, we'll talk about it in an hour, so I don't want to spend too much time on this. But I think I have this weird thing where if it's a movie I really, really care about, I'm hyper sensitive to anything that's happening around me. And as you know, we had a gentleman come in and steal a seat next to us because the guy next to that seat was too much of a fucking coward to just tell the guy he was saving the seat for his wife and lie to him. So this random guy that walked into the theater was like, "Hey, is that seat taken?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, I bought the seat." The guy's like, "So can I sit there?" And the other dude's like, "I guess." I'm like, "No."
Where
you
was his
say-
wife?
No, like the person that was supposed to lie. He bought the seat, but the person didn't come. And so instead of saying,
That was all. That's all I was looking for.
yeah,
The
instead of
person didn't
saying,
come. Okay.
I'm just like, quick, think on your fucking feet, buddy. No, my wife's still coming. She's coming. You got to go away. Then
Also,
the guy,
who's this guy that's walking into
Yeah,
a
who's
reserved
walking
seat
into-
theater to
it's
just
the guy
Other than
who
a
had a plastic container of food, could not find his fork the entire time, and then proceeded to cough every, I would say maybe 3 minutes, just like clockwork. Ruffle, 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 to the point where John Drake looked over at me and was like, "Are you gonna kill this guy or do I have to?" And I'm like, "I'm just trying to enjoy this fucking
God,
movie."
you should have let me. Why didn't you tell me? I would have walked over.
You guys were,
Excuse me, sir.
you guys were enjoying the movie.
Can I help you find the concession stand?
But now that I've like enjoyed been through the first screening of it and I can relax a little bit, I really want to see it in theaters again because I feel like it's the same thing that happened with Skyfall. When I went and saw Skyfall, I was looking so forward to it, and then the family next to me was like having a fucking conniption fit the entire time. They were having like a feud, and I was like, "Oh, this is ruining this movie for me."
That happens with everybody, though, right? There's things you can and can't turn off, right? You know the Doctor Strange story well. That guy in front of us tweeting during Doctor Strange, I can't let that slide. I have to go. But during previews, we're watching previews for Endgame or before Endgame, and we're sitting there just chilling out, having a great time. And Jen just leans over to me and goes, "What is this guy doing?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And I looked to my left, and there was a dude with a clipboard. Like we're on the far side. We're not even by the front door.
Yeah.
A dude with a clipboard at the end of a row, standing against the wall,
I think that was the guy.
like making notes. Really?
Oh, I don't
With
know.
A clipboard?
Maybe not.
he had a clipboard
he looked
and
like
a
he worked
box
there.
of food.
You know,
Oh, maybe the guy worked
that's
there.
the problem is that he looked like he was doing something official,
Yeah.
but he did not have any official apparel on.
But he had a
So it's
clipboard.
like, are you a weirdo with a clipboard, or do you have something to do?
Would that bother you more than just being a weirdo?
If I could glance at the guy and be like, "Oh, you work here," then I'd turn back to
if,
Jen and be like,
if he had an official thing on it,
"Dude
I'd be
works
like,
here. Don't know.
He's just taking
doing something." But when I look over and it's this guy, it looks like he could either be going fishing in a second or he's over there just taking down notes on the ads. I'm like, I don't know. And so then I'm like back to watching the previews, and Jen's like, "But what do you think he's doing?" I'm like, "I don't know." She's like, "Come on, is he gonna be there?" I'm like, I finally like, "Is this gonna?" I was literally, "Is this gonna ruin your experience?" Because I'll go right now. I'll go be like, "Hey, what are you doing? Can I help you?"
Yeah.
Get the story, sit back down. And by the time the previews ended, he walked to the other side of the auditorium and then leaned up against that wall and started taking notes. And I was like, I think he might be official, but either way, not on my side of the auditorium. I'm fine.
Yeah.
And then I got to see Andy Cortez try to leave through the emergency exit.
That was my
And then John
favorite
Drake,
game.
And it was just like literally one by one watching people try. I'm like, oh god.
There were 4
It's like,
people.
you
throughout
all
the
walked
movie.
into this place. How do you not understand where the door you
There's
came in through is?
Yeah, there's no exit.
They're like,
Great.
"Oh, maybe we can sneak out." No,
Yeah,
that's not
I
how
felt
doors
like
work.
obviously the first hour of Endgame is very, very quiet and like slow and a lot of emotions and a lot of like poignant scenes. And
lot of talking.
man, they are not punctuated well when someone's like, "Can't find my fork." I was like, Jesus Christ, dude.
You should have done something. You should have stood up. Don't even go my way. I'll never forget when we went and saw Rambo as IGN, when IGN used to have movie days where, hey,
Great
some
movie.
movies coming out, we're gonna go see
Great
it.
movie.
The movie. We're sitting in. I'm like 2 rows back. We're sitting there,
Great movie.
and just as like whatever starts, the Rambo part of it starts. The dude takes out a Subway sandwich and starts unrolling it. And Andy Eddie, without missing, he just turns and goes, "Dude, really?" And the guy's like, "Put it back away."
Put it back,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Fuck that. I would have keep eating.
Of course
I
you would,
hate
and you
that
would have been
shit,
thrown
man.
the fuck out.
I don't know. And again,
You don't respect theaters.
Better men
Dude,
have tried.
to
Yes,
me,
I
it's
do.
all about respect. Bring food in, whatever the hell.
Quiet.
They're overcharging you. That's all
Yeah.
stupid. But respect the people around you
Yeah.
with your noise levels. Like,
Yes.
understand what you do. Cool, Greg. the king of politeness.
That's right. That's what we call him.
That's no sarcasm. He snuck in some Lunchables.
As one does. As one does.
But he opens it at like there's the right moment where it's like there's noise. He goes whoosh, to get the quick, rip off the Band-Aid. And then he makes sure he's only crunching
but
the
like, dude, I felt bad
times.
even in, again, we're not spoiling any of the Avengers stuff, but like we're talking about, it's a quiet first bunch of that movie. And me like shaking the popcorn to get a better handful.
Yeah.
I was waiting for like, there's a moment. You know what I mean?
You
I
gotta
can't
wait.
fucking wait.
And this guy next to me, I'm like, I know you're hungry. I get it. But you understand there's a 3-hour-long movie. And at some point, someone's going to fight. And there's going to be like explosions and stuff. That's when you fucking look for your fork, bro. Like that's when you look for your fork. Not during the poignant scene where like
Fantastic Four shows up.
Where Fantastic Four is in the rafters like, do you guys need us yet? And everyone's like, absolutely not. We don't need you.
Get out of here, Miles
like,
Teller.
We're probably going to die, but at least we're dying fucking standing up. No, I don't know. Either way, I can't tell if it's because I'm just more sensitive to it now, or if because, I'm a little older and like I've been to so many movies, or if it's just people's etiquette is just still shitty. Because I don't ever remember, like when I was a kid.
You probably when you were a kid, you were probably the guy making the noise.
Yeah, exactly, right? And
Poe
now
always tells the story when I snuck Portillo's into a movie theater, and I waited, and like it wasn't a noise thing, but I pulled it out and opened it, and like Portillo's hot dog, ketchup, mustard, pickle only, and that pickle. Poe's like, you just punched everyone in the face with a pickle smell in his way. That's true.
Bolt.
That happened.
Bolt.
Yeah, you did. I know.
Yeah.
But to be fair, like the smell factor is an issue, but it's like that's also sold by the theater. Like Portillo's has a smell, but everything that they fucking have has a smell.
Sure.
And it's just, I feel like there should be more care put into what is and is not served at theaters.
Well, I mean, you got popcorn. That's like the loudest thing possible.
What would you take off the menu right now? Your average
I guess I would
theater?
take off most things.
Yeah.
But that's just not, even during the movie, not my favorite thing.
Sure.
Based
I
on
feel like
smell or sound.
Hot dogs are fine. Popcorn are fine.
But I feel like hot dogs should figure out a better way to be wrapped. Because even that paper is a little crinkly.
Well, that's the thing about now at the AMC. They have the little cardboard things. You open them up. No more wrapping on them.
Which then I was so aware of the other guy making noise, but I was like, I really want my hot dog. And I was like, I gotta wait for a loud moment to open this hot dog. But I was like, how loud could it possibly be? It's a fucking box. You just squeeze the box and open it up. So I started squeezing the box and opening it up.
And it goes,
it like wouldn't open, and it started getting really loud.
And the guy looks over, you're like, geez, sir.
I started getting nervous, and then I started fumbling with it. And it's one of those things where, like, when you're embarrassed and you start pushing the door, even though it's pull. I realized about, I don't know, a good minute into trying to open this fucking box that I had it backward. And I flipped it around and just opened it and like threw it. I was like, I'm sorry.
Dude, this is jumping all over, but that is a perfect segue. In the pre-show, I was saying that there's something I needed to talk to you about, and you just brought it up again for me in a beautiful way.
AKA second best baby blues in San Francisco.
Exactly. Netflix has a new sketch comedy show produced by The Lonely Island.
Oh, great.
Oh.
Called like You Need to Leave or something. Hold on, let me get what it actually is.
He's in Kev.
I think you should leave. I think you should leave.
Okay.
With Tim Robinson. Tim Robinson, someone I am not familiar with.
He was in Shawshank Redemption.
Yes. I now
Tim
am familiar.
Robinson.
He is the most Nick comedy I've ever seen in a show.
Now,
it is
I might not like this because I don't like people that do me better than me.
Dude, I don't know,
Sorry,
man.
Carboni.
I think it's one of those things. There's 6 episodes. They're all like 18 to 20 minutes.
I'll watch
and
it.
I watched me and G watched the entire thing in one sitting.
Isn't it funny?
And it's like every single sketch made us laugh at least once.
Good.
Not throughout the entire thing.
Well, that's screen cap alone right there.
Okay, so the premise of this, I'm not going to spoil too much.
Yelling at Gronkowski.
But the premise of that, pull it up, Kev, to show people. The premise of this sketch is that the guy on the right was a baby on a plane with the guy on the left years ago and cried the whole time so he couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
So he's been hunting him his entire life. Just scream so he can't sleep. Fucking hilarious.
That's so funny.
I think it's one of like the
That's
first sketch they have
psychotic.
in the show is he's at a job interview and he's like talking to the guy. They're at this like cafe and he's like he's very nervous, you could tell. And the guy's like, "You're doing good. Don't worry about it." And he's like, "Cool. Like, thanks, man. Like, let me know if you need me. Anything you need, I got you." And he stands up and starts walking away. And it's a push door situation. And he pulls it. And the guy goes, like, it's awkward. Everyone kind of looks at him. And then the job interviewer was like, "Oh, no, you're supposed to push." And the guy goes, "I was here yesterday. You could do both." And the interviewer was like, I don't think you can. And it cuts back. And he just grabs the door and just pulls as hard as he can, and it just keeps cutting back and forth, and he just doesn't want to look awkward, so he's just like opening it, and it busts off the hinges slowly. It's so you comedy, dude.
I love it. I mean, you sold me.
You should check it out.
You sold me on this.
It is
What
very
show?
funny. Oh man.
I think you should leave.
I think you should leave.
I think you should leave with Tim Robinson.
That's a good name.
6
From
episodes
Shawshank
of sketch comedy, ton of random guest stars and stuff like that are only in one little bit for no reason. It's
Fucking A.
That's
Perfect.
awesome.
I really think that a lot of people, if you like us, you should watch this.
Perfect.
If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Kind of Funny podcast each and every week for sometimes Andy, best friends gather around this table. Andy, what are you doing? If you like that, of course, be part of the show, patreon.com/kindoffunny, where you can get each and every episode free. Nope, exclusive early. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And then if you don't want to pay any bucks our way, you don't want to support the show, or you can't, no big deal. You can get the show on youtube.com/kindoffunny, roosterteeth.com, and podcast services around the globe each and every Friday. I got housekeeping for you, Tim. You ready?
Yeah, dude.
Cooking with Greggy is back. Because of your support over on Patreon, you can go to youtube.com/kindoffunny or patreon.com/kindoffunny. Watch the new season. The new show premieres each and every Monday on patreon.com/kindoffunny. But if you have no bucks to toss our way, it's no big deal. It goes up on youtube.com/kindoffunny and Rooster Teeth the following Tuesday. The Vancouver meet and greet is this Saturday.
Woo.
So depending on when you listen to our show, heads up, May 4th, we're going to Vancouver, or we are just in Vancouver. Kindoffunny.com/events has all the information. Thank you to our Patreon producers, DJ Kento, James Davis, Kieran O'Donnell, Sam Davis, and Mike McLaughlin. Today we're brought to you by Hims and Upstart, but I will tell you about that later. For now, let's begin the show with who is and who will always be Joshua. Joshua wrote into patreon.com/kindoffunny and said, Nick just got a job at UC Riverside as director of content for athletics. What are some bomb places to eat in Riverside?
Oh, shiznit. I mean, my favorites are, you gotta get Baker's. Baker's is
Baker's.
thebomb.com.
What is Baker's? Is this the pie
Fast
place?
food.
No? Okay. Nope.
No,
It's
Baker's
Square.
is...
And it's great. Baker Square is awesome.
Baker's is like a Del Taco. I don't know why they call it Baker's. They don't
Okay.
have any baked goods there whatsoever.
But it's about tacos?
It's taco. It's
They have burgers and-
burritos, tacos, and burgers. And the burgers are pretty good. So when you go,
Their
you can get
bean
like
and cheese burritos are so good.
their combination burrito is the fucking best thing ever. And they were
Get
the
the green
first people
sauce.
that I remember to offer a half pound of fries.
Holy
it was
shit.
so much fries that you're like, no, I don't need this much fries, but you eat the whole thing anyway.
No.
And then I'll also give a shout out to Alberto's, which I love very, very
good.
much. There's an Alberto's right down
It's
the
a
street
deja
from.
vu moment. I swear
We
to God.
talked about this.
We just
did.
talked about
I
this.
think you had this on something. Whose
On a
question
show?
was this?
Joshua.
Joshua,
No, but what other show was this? Because I think we read this question on a different show.
I don't know, but you definitely
Was
just
this
talked about
KFAF?
Baker's, then we talked about Alberto's, and it was the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a shout out to Del Taco also.
Watch all our
Del Taco's
content,
everyone.
jerks.
you should
on.
also go to Augie's, even though that's technically in Redlands. It's a really cool coffee shop.
I'm also gonna give a shout out to Shakey's Pizza.
I don't think I've ever
Shakey's
been there.
I've
Pizza.
never been to a Shakey's, and I wouldn't have known it existed if it wasn't for South Park.
They got the Mojo Potatoes.
What does that mean?
Mojo Potatoes.
I need more information than Mojo Potatoes.
Kevin, Google Mojo Potato, please.
On it, boss man.
Cool Greg, have you
This
ever
is gonna
eaten
be
at
a
a
fun
Shakey's?
show.
No, yeah, Cool Greg hasn't, so it can't be
Shakey's
cool.
very much like a round table pizza, only slightly more. Like it's the place where people would go after every band
Sure,
thing,
sure.
football game, things like that's where you'd go. You go to Shakey's. That's the Mojo Potato right there. Yeah,
That
that's
looks
right there.
awesome.
That is a Mojo Potato.
So what is it? It's just a potato cut.
No, it's like a cut. You slice like you see it there, and
Yeah,
then
into
battered,
circles.
little battered and fried.
The
Nice.
seasoning looks dope.
I like
And
that.
it's,
What's going on? I wanna
they're
eat
just
it.
It
real
kind of
good.
looks like it has like a KFC wedges
Yep.
situation.
Yep.
going on.
That's
Yep,
exactly
yep,
what
yep.
it is, except instead of it's less potato though, so you don't get when you ever have the wedge, the outside's always good, but then you get it's so much
So soft,
dense
it's-
and
yeah.
thickness on
Fluffy
the inside.
in the inside, though.
But I don't want that.
The
I want it to be
Mojos
fried
are
and crispy.
generally
I want it
only a
fluffy.
little fluffy, like right at the middle. The rest of it's like crisp and good, and you just dip it in ketchup and put it in your mouth. It's great.
Went back in the burbs of Chicago. There went to Dinos for breakfast, and Mom was like, "Hey, we're here. Great breakfast spot. You're gonna enjoy it. You never been there. Blah blah blah." But she's like, "The real reason I like it is that they do cottage fries, where they slice the potato thin like that and then fry it like that. No batter or anything, but like do that.
Oh, I
And-
like that, like a scalloped sort
And that
of?
was like super crispy though, so not the scallop texture, which I hate.
Right.
Because that's my problem, of course, is that I always want to like hash browns. And once in a while, you run into a really good hash brown. Most of the time, what you get is a pile of potatoes that are brown on one side, brown on the other side, and 3 inches deep and just raw. Like, why would I eat this?
fantastic.
It's
I love
terrible.
them.
Oh God, it's
Smother it
gross.
in ketchup.
No, you do ketchup and A1 steak sauce on top of them. They're fucking bomb.com.
God,
Steak
I'm
sauce.
hard.
Well, no, when
Yeah.
I need to, it's got to be ketchup and it's got to be Tabasco or Cholula or whatever. I need a hot
yeah.
sauce on
Yeah,
there. Mix
my-
it up
Not
that
a
way.
Cholula fan.
Back in the day, my brother
Really?
Matt used to
Tabasco guy.
we'd get hash browns and he would just put nothing but A1 sauce on it, and it's so fucking good. It's like tangy.
Yeah,
oh,
A1
like hits the
steak
back
sauce.
of your teeth, like the top of your teeth.
Sure. Yeah.
not
yeah.
the bottom, the top, like
No,
right
the
at the
top
gum
right
level.
there. Yeah, it's getting you in that roof of your mouth, but not a burn. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Wakes you up.
But I was telling you, that's what it's about. Because hash browns can be great. I'm not saying they can't be. I just find most of the time they're undercooked and gross.
Oh, I get you.
I get you, but I feel like hash browns are one of those things where they're just always good in any form that they're
No,
in.
there's plenty of times where I get them and
There's
I'm
some that are
like,
better.
this is what it is. And I like to have 2 bites. I'm like, I don't even want this.
Just
Joey
the
and I had,
McDonald's hash browns.
McDonald's.
That's on a different
Those are
level.
the-
nobody's
those are
nobody's
different.
crazy
It's all
enough to talk
next
shit. That's
level.
perfect because that's the perfect amount of crispy fried and then soft fluffy
Yeah,
potato
but that's
inside.
because they're fried. Most hash browns are you put them on a grill.
Sure.
You flip them over and they're done. The McDonald's ones, they just fucking put in the fryer with the rest of the thing.
And that's why, hey,
they
man.
submerge them 100% in
Cottage
shitty
fries,
oil.
I just complimented. They're fried too as well.
Joey and I had really good hash browns and corned beef hash in New York.
We did.
And that'll maybe make it into the New York vlog once it's done being edited.
Maybe.
I gave you all the footage.
It won't.
Oh, Cool Greg
Okay.
says no, it doesn't make the cut.
Yeah,
Never
good
mind.
job, cool Greg. Thank you. You
Apparently
rule with an iron fist, but
not
you're
up
fair.
to the vlog standards.
That's what it's got to be. Somebody's got to have standards around here, and it's cool.
No, I'm
Greg.
cutting my own vlog. I'm going to do a vlog within a vlog called Nick's World.
Are you going to include all
Guarantee you
the
don't
really
do
dark
that.
dance floor
Nick's
footage?
Maybe I'll do something with Nick at night or something like that, or it'll just be me
Remember
at night.
when you used to do that on Instagram?
I really liked it a
What
lot.
a fun thing.
You know, I thought about doing more stories because I keep seeing that they're still a thing.
Yeah, they're bigger than ever.
But
Someone's
then I go, you know, it took a lot of effort to do that show.
sure, which
You
is
know, a lot of
surprising because you
effort.
just talked into your phone.
Oh yeah, No,
Yeah,
it was
while you
easy.
and
walked
you're going
It
out
was really
tonight.
easy.
This would be like a pretty great night to.
Maybe I'll do the
Where you
return
going
of Nick and
tonight?
I. I got a show at Delirium Bar in the Mission. If anyone wants to come out, 8 p.m. 16th, I want to say 16th in Valencia ish.
Sounds right.
Something like that. It's by the Roxy
Checks
Theater.
out.
Anyway, Google Delirium Bar. It's going to be a shit show. And this show is always one of those that either the audience isn't paying attention or they're paying attention so much that they want to fight the comedians. So it's going to be fun.
You always say this, but like in my experience, that hasn't been true. Is there like a specific time?
You got a good night last
Okay.
time you were there. Because the last time, the time after that I hosted,
'Cause I've been there
I literally had to
3
bounce.
times now.
I had to almost pull someone off, a female comedian, because she had said something. She was talking shit, and the guy was like, "I'm not having some woman step to me," and I was
Jesus.
like, "Bro,
Hey, Joe.
you better watch out." But then it ended up that he was screaming, and everyone's like, "Oh God, this guy's gonna assault this woman, and we have to kill him." And
have to kill him.
This is gonna. I mean, like
Man,
me and
comedy's
all
crazy
the other
these days.
comics, and we're like, we gotta fucking kill this guy. And he walked right up. He walked right up to this female comedian and was like, "You know
Wait,
what?"
hold on. Sorry, walked right up while she was on stage or
Yeah.
off stage. Jesus.
And I was like, I had to get up because as the host, I'm like, A,
Take your
this
shoe
bar
off.
has absolutely no. I was like, this 2 things. One, the bar had absolutely no security, which I was like, what the fuck? This is a dive bar, and why isn't the bartender doing anything? And B, the guy was smaller than me, so I was like, all right, it's
you
fine.
got this
I mean,
guy?
okay, I got this guy.
Did not expect that.
Oh yeah, no, he was like a little taller but really skinny. I was like, I'm not fucking take this guy down. But he walked right up to her and was like, you know what? Totally agree with you. This girl's got what's going on. I was like, oh,
Sit
I'm
the
like,
fuck down.
I'm like, bro, we're good. She doesn't need you to be a part of the show. He's like, no, they're all talking back there, and I just want you guys to know back there. Shut up. People are making art. This is not easy. And she was
one of
like,
those
you're
guys.
You know what?
actually more disruptive than everyone else back there. Sir, go sit down. We're like, dude, you got to go. So he's like, all right, I just want you guys to know I'm fucking with you. And we're like, no, I think we got that from you screaming it
We're
into
not
the mic.
with you, sir.
Give her the mic back. You go fuck off. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's bad. But that's what you always
see you
get with
tonight.
these. Oh yeah, 8 p.m. But that's what you always get with these shows is that you're fighting for audience, and then there's no actual like.
Fighting for your life, also.
Well, there's just
Hispanic
no
heartthrob, Andy Cortez,
organization anywhere, and there's no security. And so like that's why it's lovely to do a show in like a real club every once in a while because you're like, oh, this whole place is set up for this.
What I have never talked to you about it. What is the worst heckler thing you've seen? Like when you think about like it going wrong.
Oh, that was it.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I've seen at Delirium multiple times. I've seen people almost get into fights.
Yeah.
Like
On
someone
stage.
walks in and people are drunk. I mean, you're talking about people who are drinking at a dive bar on a Monday night, so they're
Yeah.
serious about their alcoholism. And you'll say something like, there was one comic, I think it was a guy, who was, the way Delirium set up is the stage is a little elevated like booth right by the door. So when people come in, of course, your natural
Yep.
inclination is they're the only ones paying attention. Let's fuck with them. And this one dude started ripping into these tourists, and they were not having it. And the guy's like, fuck you, dude. Like, just like step to him. And I'm like, oh, God, this guy's bigger than me.
I can't take this shit.
Like,
My
it's not
fucking
this.
fight fantasies
There have
are
been
gonna be
multiple
played
times
out.
where like, and comics
Why does the host have to be responsible
That's just
for
the way it
fighting
goes.
people?
Because if the host is responsible, literally no one will be. I have been now to, I would say, probably at least 25 of these comedy shows, and I use that very lightly.
Yeah,
because
you've
it's
been a
like,
lot.
there's Cobbs and stuff. It's like, cool, these are comedy shows. But then there's a host, there's people
There's a
in
mic.
between them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of,
maybe
there's a
someone
mic.
told the patrons there'd be comedy.
But
Maybe
that's the
they
thing is like there's a mic sometimes. Sometimes there's not. And it's just
It's
like
bad.
it just seems so poorly organized that like I'm surprised more fights don't happen just because of people's egos get in the way of like when they go up or whatever the
Well,
fuck's
you
going
also
on.
have to think this, right? Like, it's not necessarily well promoted or well communicated to the people in the bar that there's comedy going to be happening. So imagine all of us not knowing there's a comedy show. We go to tie one on a Monday night,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden some asshole with a mic starts talking shit about us. And like, we're not a violent group of people, but that would still. I'd be like, fuck you. Like, I'm gonna give it back to you. I didn't agree to be a part of this free comedy show. I didn't know what was happening.
When I went down to do WWE thing, something in LA, one of these LA day trips I went down and did. Scott Lowe and I were like, when I went down to do the Skybound thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, hey, yeah. I was like, yeah, let's get together. He's like, all right, cool. There's a bar like 10 minutes from here. I'm like, great. And we went over there. And I walked in first, and it was trivia. And it's that thing of like, fuck, I was hoping I could catch up and not be yelling over somebody all night long, right? And
I
he got
get
there
it.
and he's like, fuck. And I totally get it as the bar. Like, we need to get people in here on a normal night. You can't hope Greg Miller and Scott Lowe come in there throwing their books around. You know what I mean?
And normally it's fine, but then there are instances where I'm like, look, when it's a comedy show happening, the whole venue has to commit.
Yeah.
Like, I need the mic to be way louder than it needs to be so that people will shut the fuck up and hear the words. If they can't hear the words, they won't get into the show. If they don't get into the show, it's going to be a nuisance in the background
worse
the
and
entire
worse and
time.
worse.
And then it's just going to get worse. And so the time that you went when I was hosting, it was fine. The time after, the bartender refused to turn the mic up to an audible level in the back. So
Yeah.
of course everyone in the back started talking and screaming, and then it became a back versus front thing. And then there was 5 or 6 patrons that had come to actually support one of the other comics that were trying to enjoy the show, but they couldn't even hear the comic that was a foot in front of them because the asshole bartender was like, "No, I don't really like comedy." So well, I'm like, yeah, but your manager or the owner agreed to do this, so we all need to be on the same page. There's a disconnect here, and you're the problem.
You have a verbal contract, sir. Turn up the microphone.
Well, it's either all in or all out.
I hear you.
There's no such thing as, hey, there's going to be stand-up comedy, and then, but also feel free to play pool in the back, and we're going to play music. It's not going to happen.
Who all was there? But that RTX, we went to that Gordo's bar we like so much. It was Donuts and Bar, and we walked in, and it was like they were doing like a drag show. And we were like, all right, we'll try to hang. And then they came up and started fucking with us. We're like, we're not in the mood for
We gotta
this.
go.
We're like hungover or tired or whatever
Yeah.
it was. Or we were just getting the headspace of an RTX. I was like, we got to go.
Gosh, but the food was so good.
The food, I mean,
food was
Gordo's is
great.
amazing. You kidding me?
Gordo's
But
is
speaking of
that's the
committing-
donut place, right? That has the donut like
Yeah. You
savory
want a salad?
donuts.
Here's a donut in it.
They're so good.
There's what's the other place that we went to recently where you were also hosting the
Tim
show?
Hortons.
That was La Rocca's.
La Rocca's, yeah, which is on the same block as Cobb's, and it's this little bar that actually has like a good amount of room, like space for people to be in.
Get usually a good crowd there.
Don't remember what night it was, but like it
was
wasn't
like
like a
Wednesday
Friday
night,
It was like
I
a
believe.
Wednesday,
Yeah, they do shows
and we
there
go. There was
Wednesdays.
this show Nick was supposed to be hosting. No one was there on
I
time.
was not supposed to be hosting.
Oh, you're right.
I was
You're right.
supposed to just be there.
Yeah.
And the show was supposed to start at 8, and 8:15 rolls around, and it's me and one other comic.
And the guy goes, are you going to host this? And Nick's like, I guess, sure.
But then I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'll host. I love hosting. I like getting that experience. So I reached out to the organizer and I was like, hey, who's supposed to host? And the person that was supposed to host had to drop
Died.
out last second. And so he was like, when do you guys host? I'm like, sure. That's first question. Second question, where are the other comedians? Because there's only 3 of us here and it's supposed to be an hour and a half long show. And I'm pretty good, but I cannot do 40 minutes of material.
Especially to 4 people.
Yeah, to the 4
Including
people
the people who are about
3
to
of
go
them
on.
are my friends.
Yeah. It was me, Gina, Rochelle there, like to support you and hang out, but also like we understand what we're getting into.
Sure.
But then there's like maybe 5 other people in the bar total, and then the bartender who like owns the bar. It felt like, I don't know. She
Yeah.
seems like she's never left that place.
Yeah.
Shout the fuck out to her because she's like, ladies and gentlemen, we are doing this. I don't. If there's 100 people here, 3 people. This is a comedy show now, and we are doing it. We're turning the mic
She
all the way.
committed.
Everything
She
down.
committed, and I was like, I really appreciate this for as awkward as it is for every human being involved.
But I mean, but you know, it's such an uphill battle sometimes with these venues because she was great and was like, "Here's the mic," And by the way, it sometimes just doesn't work. And so there's nothing more fun than right when you get to your first punchline and the mic cuts out.
Oh,
and you're like, am I holding this thing wrong? And you have to hold the mic like you're a British drinking tea.
Sure.
Just like, governor. And then the mic maybe does work or not.
Starts
and
crackling.
then at that particular venue, the host, the organizer was like, hey, make sure you turn the light on, but it's a backlight. And I'm like, backlights don't help illuminate people. They hurt your eyes when you're staring at you know what I mean? Like I'm staring, the audience is staring into a light at that point. Like they can't see me. I'm in shadows because there's a bright light behind me. Yeah. And so I was like, I'm not going to turn that light
Turn on the
It's
backlight
dumb.
and then throw all the gasoline on the crowd. Like, why would I want to do any of this?
Dude, this is the same show where eventually a Cobb show let out. So like,
Well, that was the problem.
there was a Cobb show on the same block that was happening, so everyone was there. But it got worse because then I forgot who it was. It wasn't you, but it was the other guy that like should have been hosting or whatever. Walks out and essentially is just like, guys, come on in. There's more comedy. It's free. Just please, somebody come, please. And then we eventually get a room full of
Get
people.
the room full of
It was
people.
after like everyone had already done their set.
I was gonna say they have to do the sets again.
But then, like, people are like starting to go up that either had not done comedy before or are
Some out-of-towners were there.
Very,
Yeah.
very, very rough. And this one woman went up, and she was fine. Whatever, she's doing her thing. But there was this fucking Heckler guy that was drunk as shit.
Drunk old guys,
Santa
yeah.
Claus looking dude, right? And every
Because he's old.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
old and fat.
but like looked
beard.
like
Okay.
like Santa,
Maybe
Santa
60s,
Claus. Biker
gray
Santa
hair.
Claus.
Arms around him.
really like he's been drinking like as
punk
like
band.
drinking has been a career for
Okay.
him since he
Yes.
was in his early 20s. Sure.
Every line that she says, he says whatever the worst possible thing you could say.
It was
in
very
response.
much like here's what his thought process was. I'm going to talk and I'm going to be so charming right now that this girl on stage is going to want to fuck me.
Yep.
And what
Damn,
that was
did
his,
it work?
That was his thought process. No, because
how I got
from the
Jen.
brain to the mouth, it came out I
got Jen.
And even his friend,
You're
who
hot,
was,
though.
his friend who was drunk. That's what
what it
his
was.
other friend, older guy as well, who was drunk.
Who did he look like? Kevin Nash.
I don't know who he looked like actually.
Jack Frost.
Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash is good.
Santa
Yeah.
Claus and
Literally
Jack
just was
Frost.
like he just kept doing this,
Nick,
and then
slow
finally
down.
I was like, I was trying to be cool, and then as the host, of course, as the only person there who
Step up.
runs any sort of security, I finally just turned to him and went like this, like
Yeah,
like put my
if
hand
you're
on
an
him, like you
audio
gotta
listener,
stop.
Nick's giving me some pressure on my bicep.
Like you got, hey buddy, like let's
Yeah,
stop
yeah.
here, okay? Like
so hold on. So
shut
are you
up.
next to him or are you walking around?
Well, I'm next to him because this
Okay.
bar is not very big.
Gotcha.
That was problem number 3 at the show. Problem number 4 was the organizer was like, hey, by the way, I booked 10 comics for this, and the show was supposed to start at 8. I didn't start till 8:30 because no one was there. And finally, I was like, we're just gonna start the show, and if it's a fucking 30-minute long show, I don't care. And then literally one by one, after the last comic would go up, another one would come in. So I was like, cool, you're next. They're like, how much time do I? And then one kid came in and was like, how much time do I have? I'm like, he's got 1 minute left. I just gave him the light. You're up next. The guy's like, cool. I forgot something at Cobb, so I'll be right back. And runs the fuck out. And I'm like,
That
fuck you
kid,
guys.
Carrot Top came back with all his props
Yeah,
and
I know,
shit.
right?
It's,
Holding pins.
Who would've
it's
thought?
just because I think a lot of it is A, it's hard to organize these shows week after week, but then B, once a lot of the organizers organize the local shows, they get a taste for it, and then they do shows every night, and so they can't pay attention to all these things. Like the guy that does the show at La Rocca's also does a Tuesday show, I want to say in Cow Hollow, and then also does he does a cable car show, which is really fun. And so he does great shows, but I think it's a little hard for him every once in a while when people drop out to be like, fuck, I gotta plug these in.
This
It's stressful.
This specific night, for some reason, is always just going to be in my mind because there was so many things that went wrong, or just so many like cringeworthy moments where it's just like, this is what comedy is.
And it sucked because it shook me as a person who I go into immediately producer mode where I'm like, I got to control the situation. I have to make sure this thing goes. And that's the opposite thing you should do as a comic because it uses the wrong part of your brain. You have to go into that chaotic part of your brain when you're doing stand up of anything can happen, roll with the punches. And so when I went up, I bombed miserably because I was like,
You were still trying to like run the show.
I'm still trying to figure out why the fucking mic's not working.
Sure.
And I sent someone to get batteries and all this shit. And I'm like, why am I doing this? I should have absolutely said no. I'm just going to go up, do my time and get the fuck out.
So we're sitting there, and at this point, it was early on, so there were very few people, and it was essentially in the front table, me, Gia, Rochelle, and like 2 other comics that had walked in that Nick kind of knows.
Jim Brewer, one of them.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, the
that
Go
was
Guys.
nice. That was
And then
nice.
someone else named Dave Chappelle was there.
But they start going, and then every single stand-up targets us because we're the only targets there.
Only people
So
paying
then we need
attention.
to deal with like people being like, "Oh, what's up, tech bro? Hey, you must be a tech guy in San Francisco." And I'm just like,
You're like, listen, I was born and raised here.
But it just-
I'm also kind of a tech bro. But
but it's just like, it's like, cool, I'll play along. I'll go along with this. But
My app.
that's fine because like I'm playing a part for this. I don't care.
How dare you?
People that aren't playing a part in this though are these two gay dudes that come in.
They were.
And they sit at the bar. And we had
Hold
all
on.
known.
Sorry, they're sitting at the bar like backs to the show. Are they trying to be
No,
part of
they're-
the
no,
okay.
they're-
I didn't
they're-
know if it was literally like,
They
hey,
actually-
hey, sir. The guy turns around like,
No,
I got a joke about you.
they came in for the show.
show. Okay,
and we had known that because we were the only 10 people in the place.
Sure.
And so Nick, very early on as the host, like talked to everyone in the room.
Trying to warm it up.
And at some point it was like, what's your story? What's up? And they're like, oh, this is actually our first date. Like we're going to this comedy thing. We know it's going to be weird, but like whatever. We're having a good day. Like cool, fine. And we knew that. Proceed the next 10 or maybe the next hours. Every single person had something to say about them. And it's like,
Because none of them were there on time. This is
they were all like, "Why are you here? How are you?
This is
How
a
do you guys
big
know each other?"
pet peeve of mine, and it's hard to avoid, but it happens sometimes in the shows where
that's
we've
annoying.
had a couple moments where like there's a thing we do at Punchline sometimes called Joke Parade, which is that if you didn't get to go up at the end of the day, they'll carve out 10 minutes at the end of the show. Every comic that didn't get to go up gets in line, and the idea is here's the theme, you tell just the dirtiest or most fucked up street joke you can tell based around the
Street
theme.
jokes.
So the theme's like old people, you go, how many old people does it take to fucking like, I don't know, break a hip,
like
whatever.
street magic.
Exactly. One-liners. The joke, the idea is if you start doing something, and there's two guys there to roast you, so one's on the mic and one's on the mic at the back, so if you do a joke from your set, they roast the fuck out of you, right? But I've seen it multiple times where someone will come in and will have they'll just try to pop in like, hey, I've been here the whole time, but they really just got there like 5 minutes before the show ended and do someone else's joke, the same joke someone else has done, and the audience and the comics just rip them apart.
I mean, dude, that's what this was, except we're now a family. We've all grown. We all know each other. We're like
in the
asking how the kids
crucible.
are
Oh, this
doing.
is the one you were talking about earlier. You're standing up to their wedding, right? These first days.
Exactly. Yeah. No. So people would come, and some of them it just was like just repeating what Nick did, which is fine. Other people did not take that tactic and see them as people to easily make fun of, and it's
Right.
like, oh, this is not going to end well. But so many people came in,
What's
would
up with you
point at
guys?
them, and be
You
like,
guys had a date?
Like,
Yes, we're on a
like,
fucking
oh,
date.
like, how long you guys been together? And it's just like.
First day.
For the
It's
8th
our
time, this is our first date.
And it was just eventually
bad.
like it turned into a joke where they're just like, it's been 3 years.
Yeah.
And like they had
That's
this whole fucking
hilarious.
narrative
People
going.
and that's not a good sign when people are laughing at the crowd more than laughing at the comics.
Exactly. And that's what happened.
Sorry,
there.
Carrot Top. you
So
know?
so now this is my tactic now. When I'm hosting and the organizer lets me book, like he's like today, my friend Warhol who hosts or organizes the show. He goes by Warhol
time
Kaufman. He's very artistic.
Who would have guessed with a name like Warhol?
Exactly. He goes, hey, you can book some comics if you want. You can book 2 to 3. So I booked 8. I'm like, and everyone shows up at 8. I'm like, show up before 8, and if you have to go on a little early, let me know. But I don't want there to be, I can't stand it when
There's downtime.
it's a revolving door of comics. Like, what time do I go on? I'm like, you want to be on the fucking show? You sit there from the beginning, you watch the crowd, you be a part of it, and then you can go up. And that's
Hell yeah.
what's going to be.
Good for you.
So I know. I've taken the control back.
Look at you, boss man.
Sorry, I missed this. Is that tonight's show?
That's tonight's show, yeah.
You're hosting tonight.
I'm hosting tonight's show.
Cool, okay.
So yeah, I host Delirium sometimes because I'm friends with Warhol and he throws me a bone every once in a while. And I like to get the experience of hosting because it's a different it's a different vibe and a different art form than actually just going up and doing a set. Like you have to keep the audience going. You have to keep them on your side. You have to kind of act like you're inviting them to laugh and be a part of it. It's really fun. It's similar to what, like you've done a ton of that, like panels and stuff
Yeah,
like
of course.
that. Where
Yeah, you got to go
are
up there and
just the
set the
filter.
cadence.
Yeah,
You set the
exactly.
rules. You want to get people to the point where they can succeed, but it's not about you going over.
Exactly.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
if they fail miserably, you
Exactly. You bring it. You
roast
come
them.
in and you get the energy back for the next person.
Destroy them to the point where they want to quit comedy.
Sure, of course.
Yeah, that's what
Is
you
this
do.
going to be your new thing? Are you going to be the new Tony Sparks?
No,
Nick Scarpino,
not
King,
necessarily.
King SF comedy.
I just think it's really fun to be able to do more time on stage and get back into an audience after you've already done like 5-6 minutes with them, or 8 minutes, depending on what you want to do. So I've done that. I started hosting some mics as well. I just put myself out there if people
I feel
don't
like
want
it's
to.
building your resume, kind of like.
Well, it's
I've hosted
it's
these
just
things before, I can do it,
experience.
yeah.
Sure.
Like
Cool.
I'll host the mic at OMG on Sunday night sometimes if my friend John is late. I'll just reach out to him and be like, hey, you're not here. Do you want me to kick this thing off? And so he's there. I don't have time to actually run a mic or run a showcase on a monthly basis.
We could lay
or
off
weekly
if
basis.
you want, and then you could just go do it.
No, I like this job better.
Okay, just make sure.
This is I've done more here. I'm a little more experienced here, a little better at this than I am in comedy.
let's not get ahead of ourselves. Throw it around.
No, you're very good, Nick. You're very good.
Andy, you were late.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
I forgot we were doing Endgame in review, and I had a bunch of graphics to make.
I saw that come through on Slack.
As well as like I was done with the graphics at one point. I was like, I think I finally nailed it. Cool. And I was like, the fucking rankings. Wait. I never updated after we did Captain Marvel.
You gotta put
Where did
another
we
one on
put
there.
Gotcha. Marvel?
Gotcha.
Fuck, I have to make room for this now. Like it was.
It's 22 now.
22, yeah.
Where do we put Captain Marvel?
We put it above Doctor Strange, below Black Panther.
It's a good spot. It's a good spot.
That sounds about right.
Andy, I haven't talked to you. I've been on the road. I've been moving. What's happening in your life?
You've
man?
been on tour, man.
What's happening?
You've been on tour.
I've been out there, making my way. Just out there pounding the pavement.
Making my way.
Yeah,
today?
oh
No.
God, now Barrett's asking.
Am I
if you
missing
got the
something
song.
else? Oh,
What did he
fuck.
forget? Barrett, get on the shock
What
mic.
did I
Tell him what he
miss?
missed. What did he miss? We keep
You
working.
fucked up the ranking.
Oh, what did I do?
It's supposed to be below Doctor Strange, not above.
Below Doctor Strange. Cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to go fix
I
that?
thought Barrett was
you can tell
about
me
to
about your
come
life
in
when you
with
come
some
back.
bullshit
Think
hot
about
take.
what your life's been
Like,
like.
yo, you fucked up the ranking. Thor 2's #1, man.
Oh, well, the general ranking in general is just fucked up.
What's that, Barrett?
Your guys' ranking is bullshit. It's
Our
bad.
guys, you work here, idiot.
Yeah,
Your
I have
ranking
no fucking
sucks.
say in the
Your
ranking.
ranking sucks. How's it feel? How's it feel?
Real talk though,
Bend the bill of your hat.
Barrett, your breath smells amazing right now. I don't know what that gum is, but it's very minty.
Man,
we got very minty.
fucking
It's like a commercial where the ice is over.
Did you guys smell? The second he walked in, I was like, it smells delightfully like mint right now. And normally that's not the smell I'm used
Oh,
to
you're right.
hearing
No,
from
that
when
is
you
a
guys
strong
come
mint.
in.
That's a
This
strong
one
mint.
is very potent.
Who is
I
it?
don't know. Icebreakers, I think.
Oh wow. Yeah.
There's two smells every once in a while that permeate this office, both of which I love.
What
it's
are
the
they?
gum smell and the I just went to Flavor Country smell outside. Just that Camel Light, Camel Crush smell. I'm like, yes, youth. I just posted a picture on my Instagram from when I was like when I just
Oh
started
yeah, you
IGN.
and Brendan Ayub.
Brandon Ayub, and I think we were in
Can you
Vegas.
throw it up?
Yeah,
Kev?
where did you post that?
Yeah, you look so much like your brother.
I know, it's crazy, right? I think we were in Vegas because Ty said it was the Comic Club, but I was like, no, the Comic Club didn't have lamps, and you can clearly see there's people behind us, so that wasn't that there.
I thought you were on the left.
Well, first off,
and
Kev, show
Matt
this,
was
show
on the
this.
right.
No, isn't that crazy?
Look at how
Look how much
adorable
I
me and
look
my
like
wife are.
Who's on the
Kev,
left?
show this. There, look at me and your wife. So
All right,
cute.
well, we see it on the
The
left,
guy on my left is my buddy Brennan, and of course we're doing Predator here, naturally. But see, I think we're in Vegas because we're indoors, but I'm smoking inside.
Yeah, what year is
See,
this?
like I thought Nick was on the left, and I thought Matt was on the right.
Yeah.
No, that's me on the right.
Look at this woman in the back, Lady
You
Gaga.
look older in this picture
I
than
know.
you do in real life.
I'm a lot heavier in this. I think I was probably 210 when I took
Dude,
this picture.
The day you lose your hair is gonna be really sad.
I can't wait to
he
shave my
looks
head again.
badass, though.
No, he doesn't.
I wanna shave my head
He
again.
looks like Matt. That's the only reason you think he looks badass.
Barrett, you
Matt's
should
badass.
shave your head again. I was scrolling through old photos of you. You look cool with
Alyssa hates it.
Oh, really?
She fucking hates it, yeah. Which is gonna be, I told her, I was like, yo, realistically, I'm gonna be bald by 30, so I just wanna, like, let you know now.
Get on board with what's
Yeah.
happening here.
I
This isn't-
think it looks cool.
Thank you.
I honestly do. Yeah,
last
yeah.
thing I'll say before I leave is y'all put Doctor Strange way too high. That movie's boring as fuck.
Tilda.
We're
Swinburne
always
is
happy to get a
fucking
word from one of our patrons.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thanks. You know what I mean? Jackasses, ban them.
I fixed the ranking, Kev. Update that shit.
Andy, catch me up. What's been happening in your life?
Life's been it's been something, man. I've recently went through a breakup, and yeah, so just been kind of dealing with that.
Yeah.
Dealing with like fuck. I guess I just have like weekends to not do anything now. Like,
I guess I just have free time and extra
yeah,
money.
yeah. I
It's
was,
crazy to have. Do you see your bank account going up? You're like, that's weird.
no, but I did notice that like, oh fuck, like. I don't know if I'll be able to maintain this Uber Platinum level because it was all
Not to
Uber.
take your moment, but I did hit platinum.
You hit
Hey,
Platinum? Oh, nice,
finally.
very nice,
Nice.
very
It's a
nice.
dick thing to say.
Yeah,
right?
we're all a
They said he
diamond now,
broke up
by
with
the way.
someone.
Are you really?
No.
Oh.
No, I'm like halfway to Diamond, and Uber's like
Slow down.
But I don't think I can get there, because it's like July 27th
Oh.
is the cutoff, and I'm only halfay there, and I just don't think it's gonna take a long time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
But yeah, so I was like, I had noticed that like I was talking to my Twitch stream, and I was like, you'll see me a lot on the weekends now.
Did you tell them you went through the workout?
I told them I finally told them like a couple days ago. Once people were asking like, oh yeah, you weren't supposed to be at New York, and that was like really nice of you guys. Where the like 4 or 5 days before the New York meet and greet, which I was not scheduled to go to, and I didn't really tell anybody. But yeah, that's when Tim was like, hey, we don't want you to spend this weekend alone. chill with us, come with us.
I must be the worst person to hang
Like
out
how
with
Nick
after
just
a
laughs.
breakup. No, because Andy's
I was going
like,
through a really rough time. Ha
no, because I think like I was just like I felt like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be Andy's older brother right now. He's got a breakup. We're going to New York. I'm gonna like point out all the hot girls and this and that,
yeah, that's why you're
and
doing
tell
it.
you like how awesome it is. You're single now, and Andy's like, I am not in the mindset for this. I do not want this pervy
Please
old
stop
dude to be
talking.
like to try to like
All the kid
fucking
wanted was
wingman
pizza.
me.
We couldn't make it happen.
We screwed him.
We
screwed him
tried every
over.
time until finally it was rained out by God.
I was so sad that I wasn't here to talk about that because I really wanted to talk about the disappointment of no pizza. It's just so
You
sad.
got played, man.
I got
It's the
so
long
played,
con.
man. Fucking bullshit, dude. And those cheese sticks were horrible.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
miserable cheese sticks.
Tell you what were good though.
What?
The combos that we had.
The combos were good. Really weird. The key lime
Those are disgusting.
Doritos, really.
That was gross.
And they weren't key
They're
lime.
key lime.
No, they weren't key lime, but they had a sweetness to them,
They
which was
tasted
kind of
like key
odd.
lime.
They were like electric lime.
Oh, okay.
So
Kev-
like you have like the Les Limon, which is one thing.
Les Limo.
Les
But then
Lemons.
you have these new ruffles that are like electric lime, and it's like electric taste. I was like, oh, let me try these out.
That sounds like some
But
Andy
there's
shit.
like a sweetness to them, and it's off-putting. I don't like it.
Is there
Don't
a
like it.
difference between lemon and limon? Is limon just lemon in
Yeah.
other languages?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just yeah.
from what I can gather.
Yeah.
So how you dealing with the breakup? If we're done with the electric chip talk.
It's been rough. It's been
Yeah.
rough. It's like I finally broke the news to my parents a couple days ago because I didn't want to tell them immediately. Because this isn't the
Well,
first.
that's always the problem with a breakup, right?
Yeah.
Because you never know if is it going to take.
Exactly. This isn't the first time that it's happened, but
Yeah.
this one was definitely more
Definitive.
Definitive, yes, absolutely. And so the first time I kind of told him immediately. This time I was like, I'm gonna wait around for a bit. And then me and my brother were talking, and I told him, and I was like, don't tell mom and dad yet. I know that they're gonna call me and like be like really worried. You know,
Sure.
they're gonna be mom and
Well,
dad
your
about
parents,
it.
yeah.
So I finally told them the other day, just kind of like as an aside at the end of the conversation.
Yeah.
Where I could just kind of fit it in.
You're like, all right, yeah, well, just keep me posted. Also, we broke up.
Yeah,
back.
didn't like the electric chips, but also
Yeah.
broke up.
Gotta go.
And so, I mean, because I just catch up with them like every week or whatever. And so, yeah, I broke the news to them, and they're like, well, you know, that's really unfortunate, but you're a talented, nice person. And I was like, I appreciate that. I just, I hate sort of hearing that stuff because it just kind of,
It doesn't help.
yeah, it doesn't help. I know what they're
It's
trying
best
to do.
intentions.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
you know,
It's
you
from
gotta-
anybody. Like,
yeah.
you know, all of your friends, and they want you to feel good and positive, but yeah, it's just been rough, you know.
Yeah.
It reminded me of your breakup episode. Like,
Sure.
thinking of like, fuck, like I thought that was the one, you know.
Yeah, that's a rough one, right?
Yeah.
And then you gotta figure it all out again. You'll be fine, you know.
Yeah,
I don't want to give you more shit that you don't.
No,
you've
yeah,
heard
for
from
sure,
a million
for
people
sure.
that you don't know.
For sure.
Grass green.
But you're a nice, talented person.
Fish.
You're
Yeah,
good.
it's been like
A lot of fish in the sea.
all that stuff.
All the
all those
adages.
cliches.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't been easy, and I foresee that it won't be easy for a while. But
Yeah.
But you guys were together for a while, yeah? How long?
Yeah,
Since you've been out here, right?
yeah, a little bit, yeah, something like that, yeah.
That's okay. Well, sometimes these things happen for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I always look at it was like if it's if later down the road you all reconnect, then
Sure.
you know that
Absolutely,
could be a thing.
yeah.
That can be a thing. But for right now, this is
Yeah.
what needs to happen, and so that's what you have to be.
It's definitely in a weird spot where it was it's not because anybody like fucked up or anything. It was just more of a she wants to move back and hates it here, but you know, we're still very much in love.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's almost harder.
Oh yeah.
way
yeah.
harder.
It's definitely harder.
There's no clean break. That's just so much.
Yeah, like
So hard to get
there's still a lot
closure.
of feelings there. There's still a lot of, you know, I love yous and I miss yous, and this, you know, this is really shitty. But yeah, so that's the weekend was like when I'm playing games and I'm like I definitely feel like streaming has helped me out to get in the positive mind space of like, hey, I'm here to be funny, and like, you know,
Sure.
we're here to chill
Keep your
with
mind
each other.
off it,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You have a task.
And then like watching Avengers was great and all that shit. Game of Thrones is something to look forward to. Overwatch League had my mind occupied quite a bit as well.
Sure. Excelsior.
Burning Blue, man.
Excelsior and or SF, you know.
Excelsior, did they win? I think Excelsior lost,
that
actually.
sucks.
Yeah. Oh, no, they lost last weekend.
That's
They
a
lost last
heartbreaker for-
weekend.
How'd the shock do?
Shock didn't play, I don't think.
Huh, okay.
This weekend was interesting because it was the first home weekend in Dallas, the first weekend away from LA, and so like all these games happened in Dallas, and it was just like it was really cool that like the hometown and like 5,000 people showed up. It was really awesome. So like rooting for that was like something to keep my mind off of things, you know.
Yeah.
Ate some pretty good pizza. Escape from New York.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Not
Not the best.
not the best, but definitely good.
Yeah.
I've been super heartbroken, you know. Well, not really heartbroken. You're literally heartbroken. But you know what I mean. Detroit style pizza we all fell in love with, right? Via 313.
Right.
One of our friends we follow through the Wing Wings family recently put up on Instagram that her friends who do a Detroit style pop up in San Francisco just got a restaurant space. They're opening their own one,
I
right?
just said just got arrested.
No, pop up. They're starting a restaurant space. And then they shared the article about it, right? And it was from like Eater or whatever. And it was like, yeah, this is happening. And it's a movement that's starting to take off. Like there's 2 other Detroit style pizza places that are open now. And Jen and I saw that and we're like, we're going. And we went to Cellar Maker to try theirs. And it was not nearly as good as Via 313. And this was heartbreaking for me.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? Because like we all love that pizza so much.
God, I can't wait to go back.
I know, right?
We're coming close.
There's the other one.
So
Why?
close.
Yeah. There's another one I'll check out and I'll get back to you on. You know what I mean?
Wait, what do you mean here?
Yeah. So there's 2 other ones and then a third one that's opening.
Gotcha.
Cellar Maker, it was way too salty. We got the pepperoni, way too salty.
But I love a good salty pepperoni.
I know. I hear
Crispy
you.
with a little
It's
cup.
a little
Where it
too
starts
far.
to do the little
It
bowl thing.
definitely did that. You can look at Fran Mirabella's stories. I think right now he still has one up because he went there last night.
Cool.
And I was hoping it was the other one.
right now.
Fuck yeah, thank you.
Your hair
Holy
looks-
shit,
Wow,
it does.
It does look really cool.
He's out. He's out. He's like,
Yeah.
no, they're gonna call me on camera.
Looks
Nah.
like a liquid snake.
Anyways, back to you and your
Look like
real
a
heart.
fucking liquid snake.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about it. Like I feel like if I keep talking about it more, I'll probably cry, which I don't want to do.
Which I don't want to do. Shit's hard, man.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's one of those things, you know, we're here for you, and it's like that. I know you don't want to hear all the shit, so it's like we can only just pretend it's not happening.
Yeah,
You
we
know what I mean?
talked about it before already, and yeah, so it's just been kind of keeping my mind occupied. Played Katana Zero, beat it, fantastic.
Yeah, good game, right?
Great game, really cool. Immediately like jumped to the subreddit to like
Get the story,
See
like
what's
what's
to like
going
see
on.
what people are thinking
Yeah.
and what like what sort of questions I had and all that shit.
You talked to Barrett about it because he's had a lot of questions. I know.
No.
Yeah, no,
I
no.
just heard him. We were talking at his engagement thing. Actually, we were talking with Yusef, and he was like telling Yusef, "You got to play it. You got to play it." And so I was like, maybe I'll try it out tonight. Yeah,
Sure.
it's $15. Might as
Yeah.
well give it a shot. I fucking loved it. I
Yeah,
loved
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Really good.
Really, really, really enjoyed it.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, we're here for all that bullshit. I won't
Thanks, guys.
say
Appreciate it.
anything else. We'll leave you alone.
I'm an awesome wingman. I just wanted you to know that. I know I didn't.
He's
really
not
put
ready for that, Nick.
I'm just saying when you're ready for it. Like I know you got a little taste of it in New York with me hanging out with you and us not doing anything like that.
Andy being like,
But
"Can I get some pizza?" And Nick's like, "No, let's talk about this girl over here." I see.
I was like, let's get combos and scope out.
He's
some
like, "Yeah, but I
chicks."
really want pizza. There's all my pizza place down the
pizza.
road. We just go there. He's like, "Nah, let's get
Scope
some
out some-
combos."
There's
here.
like
Wayne
there's
Reed.
pizza everywhere around us. How about we just get some pizza?
I like how we did stay in the one neighborhood where there was no pizza. I was like, I don't like this neighborhood.
I walked to pizza 2 nights in a row in our neighborhood.
Thanks for the call, bro.
Hey, I can't help it that you wanted to go to bed early.
I went to bed at like 3:00 in the morning every time.
Fucked up, man.
Me and Andy literally waited up for you one of the nights. You just never came home.
I don't know, man. Steve never sleeps.
I was like me and Andy ended up. What were we watching? We were watching
This is horrible things.
Step Brothers or some shit like that.
No,
You
Step
did
Brothers came on later at night.
That was
which
the
I
one you
really excited
watched
about.
instead of sleeping for the plane ride home.
We had like an hour and a half to wait for
The alarm
us
clock to leave.
I was like, I'll just stay up.
I will say this: great time. I had a great time in Kansas City, great time in New York. But back-to-back trips with one-on-one weekend, then a full week of work, and then New York.
Yeah.
Fucked me up. For
How
a
stoked are you for
solid 2
Vancouver?
weeks. I'm very stoked for Vancouver because I'm going a day early to acclimate.
Yeah.
To get acclimate to the time zone.
Our time zone.
Yeah. And then I'm looking forward to just doing the meet and greet, having fun there.
It wasn't until the rest of the schedule for me in travel slid in there where I was like, man, that was a terrible decision because I had a day trip in LA last week on Wednesday, right? Came in and worked Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, went to Chicago, back at work Monday. Tonight I'll take an 8 o'clock to LA, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, back here on Thursday, then Saturday to Vancouver, then home Sunday from Vancouver. It's like 24 hours in Vancouver. And I looked at that and I was like, by itself, wouldn't have been a bad idea. Looking at that, and then it's
Altogether,
one full
yeah.
week of work, and then another full week in LA.
Compounding,
I was
yeah.
like, I should have spent more time in Vancouver. But the dice
it's gonna
didn't
be
roll.
nuts.
Yeah, that's what I got ahead of that. I'm going a day early which is going to be nice for me just to kind of like actually take a day off and decompress. I like how from Kevin over there, so that's going to be nice.
Kevin's been
I'm taking Friday
so
off.
stoked lately. Kevin kicked ass, built this awesome computer for me,
Oh, man.
so I can edit. And we went through a lot of testing, and we were initially very discouraged because
It sucks to build a PC.
it's a lot
no.
of
We
fun. I
got
love
we get
it.
all the
Just by
files
Mac?
together. We recorded a party mode for World War Z, and so.
Did my footage play on that, by the way?
Here's the thing. So like all the gameplay, very, very huge files. They're always gigantic files. And so I'm putting them into Premiere and I'm loading them in and I'm getting all these different sequences so I can then make a multicam sequence to see like, can this run the giant files without me having to render proxy files to work on like shitty, small, low quality things. And I would drag in like I would get to a point where nothing would work, and I was like, "Fuck, man, this shit just isn't working." Premiere's just having a headache with it. I was like, "Wait, maybe." Kevin and I were like, "Maybe it's fucking Nick's webcam file or his game file." So like we dragged everything in, and we just put in like something else, and it worked totally fine. We're like, "Oh my god!" So it was your webcam file that was like corrupted.
Yeah, I think it was corrupted because it played for like the first 3 minutes and then just wouldn't play for me. I couldn't scroll through it.
Kevin, we went into Handbrake and like fix it or
Just
whatever.
recompressed it. So you guys actually were able to salvage the footage?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
good, okay.
Greg's very choppy, very like.
Now I move choppily though.
He does.
You sure do.
He practices that. Greg
But
Jones.
so was I in the background, and so was the video game in the background.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's harder to fake. Yeah.
But the really encouraging thing
more
is that
impressive.
that we were able to make a multicam sequence with these 4 gigantic gameplay files, and it ran perfectly.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Perfectly.
How many gigabytes of RAM you got on that bad boy there, Kev?
64, baby.
64 gigs of RAM.
That's a lot.
64
That's
gigs
what
of
you
RAM.
need right
but
there.
it's
There's
mostly,
no money on this bitch.
But it's mostly the processor and the GPU that's like, taking the brunt of everything. But like, yeah, again, what I would do for old party modes, it's like, all right, we're done with these 4 giant gameplay files. Let me render out files that I can work on. And that's going to take 3 or 4 hours.
Well, that's going to save you a lot of time.
Yeah, so that no more like rendering time for proxies or whatever. I just go straight in there, pop in the files, and good to go. And
No
it's
more
like
excuses then.
Really encouraging. Yeah, no more excuses.
Good.
More
Yes.
importantly.
Yeah. Cool.
Maybe we
He'll
just.
figure something out.
Yeah, I'll figure something out.
There it is.
Well, yeah, maybe I need to figure out something else for my. We've had problems with my specific like OBS recordings.
Your
on
Mac's
that.
super old and can't handle it.
I know that's true.
I'm gonna
I mean, the
see
Mac
your laptop
is from
today.
2013, so.
But Greg's was having problems too.
But
It's
mine's
not
pretty close to
meant-
his Mac.
It's not meant to be doing what it does.
Yeah, I think it's
a
just can't
display.
My
handle it.
Surface?
Yeah.
Like with nothing in it. It's like, hey, I'm a word processor. We're like, cool, film all this HD footage.
I'm all up for grabbing one of the other PCs and just recording on that, Kev. I really don't care.
Great.
I don't
What
have
if we
any
just get all new
allegiance to
Macs?
Macs. Or that's good too. Or we could just get little cameras, like little mini DV camera or little tiny cameras that we can flip and make sure they're
Stop
actually
spending
recording.
money on these.
No, I mean if it fixes the thing.
Yeah, we're almost there to being perfect, Kevin. Don't you want it to be perfect?
Don't you want cameras to look cool, Kev? How about we just use the PlayStation Eye and record?
Perfect. You know what I mean?
Easy.
Like you talking about you making fun of how I stream at home?
Oh, no.
When I'm in a little translucent circle.
That's so ugly.
But it kills me every time people pop in. It's like, you are the CEO of a company that streams every day. Why is this your setup? Like, it's my fucking house.
In a vignetted circle.
Like
Like
up there, it's Portillo passed out on the couch next to me. And he's just streaming video
It's so
game.
fun.
Fucking terrible.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because I know that was a stressful thing for you, like having to re-render all that shit. It's just a lot of
it's
moving
just
parts.
it's just
annoying.
time consuming because
Yeah.
it like you lose the data rendering, and it's just those are precious minutes that can be used like actually
Anywhere
working on
else,
the
doing
fucking thing.
stupid shit on
Yeah,
KFAF.
and it would not only am I rendering it, but it's also just it takes over the whole computer. Like there's no more CPU for me to do anything else with it. So it's like, well, I'm rendering. I'll just sit here and wait. Well, I should probably just go home because it's 4:00 and there's still like 2 more hours left in the render. And,
yeah. Stressful.
So, yeah,
What
we're
is the
excited.
state of party mode? How do you feel about it?
I feel like it's gotten back on track.
Yeah?
yeah, because I know it started off rough, and I've talked to people about it, like at meet and greets and stuff. And
It started off rough, you think?
I think this year the format of
Gotcha.
it and
Okay,
everything.
okay.
I think it's gotten back on track quality wise. I think the views are still lower than I would want them to be.
Yeah.
But I think it's more defined as to what they are now. Like I'm no longer am I going unedited. I think that there's like just too much dead time and downtime and stuff.
Sure.
So I'm still cutting in between stuff, but it's obviously
It's maybe not as intense as the jokes were before.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like the
So-
Journey video.
and it's still like a faster edit for sure.
Sure.
Like, I'm getting through it quickly or whatever. But the the multicams are still
Sure. Take up a lot of time.
Behemoths.
yeah, they're still intense, but
They're gonna be easier.
but I think like I've gotten a lot of feedback from people that like watch party mode all the time, and it's like one of our favorite thing or one of their favorite things of ours that we do. And they're like, oh yeah, the last like several episodes have been fucking awesome, and I think they have too.
Did the Ultimate Chicken Horse Party mode go out yet?
No, it's uploaded. It'll go up probably this week actually.
We need to play that game more.
I fucking love that
There's
game.
some magic to
I
it.
don't need to
love
play
it. It's Greg's Achilles heel. He cannot fucking beat that game. He cannot do well at it.
Did pretty good this episode, but it was
You started getting the hang of it.
but it was still like a lot of
It's
fun
like me
where-
and Gang Beasts.
Of
Whenever
course-
I can't fucking figure out how that game works. I just
love
can't
that
do
game
it.
So much.
Of course, I cut back to like the first episode
Sure.
of Greg being like, "Well, last time we played this, it was fucking a terrible episode," and I just cut back to all the "Come on, Greg, come on!" And like, and at one point you yell really loudly, "I fucking hate Ultimate Chicken Horse!"
Yeah, you definitely feel the ghost of that in this part.
It was really fun. It was a
You
lot
were
of
not
fun.
having fun.
It's one. Tim had gone home, so Kevin filled in, and it was still like
God, it's
we
so
picked on
fucking
Kevin
fun.
quite a bit in the Battaloon episode.
Yeah, but I think we brought it back for Greg though.
Yeah.
because that's the one thing is whenever we're like sharks. We smell a little blood in the water and we just go in for the kill.
Yeah.
And then the fact that I learned early on that Greg did not like the game because he screamed at the very beginning, "I don't like this game." I'm like, that was a mistake. And now we have to fuck with you for an hour straight.
But you were making it way too hard for everybody.
It's strategy.
No, at the end it wasn't.
It's strategy.
Oh god.
Did I win?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Don't ruin it.
Did I win?
Don't ruin it. Well, check out party mode.
We'll see.
What's the next one? Is it World War Z?
No, it is Ultimate Chicken Horse going
Gotcha.
on. And then World War Z, I'll be editing this
So
week
fun.
for
Okay.
the next week.
All right. Well, now, a word from our sponsors. Men lose their hair by the age 35, and the thing is, once you start to notice, it can be too late. Just like Nick and Andy started to notice, and they did the same thing you should do. They went to forhims.com. It's a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, sexual wellness, and more for men. Thanks to science, baldness can be optional, and it's easier to keep the hair you have than worry about the ones you lost. Him connects you with real doctors and medical-grade solutions to treat hair loss. You get well-known generic equivalents to name-brand prescriptions to help you keep your hair. There's no snake oil pills, no gas station counter supplements. These are prescription solutions backed by science, and the best part is it's all online, so no waiting rooms, no awkward in-person doctor visits. You can save hours by going to forhims.com and talking to the doctor professional there. They'll tell you what you need, they'll tell you what to do, they'll give it to you just like Nick and Andy got it, and then you can start saving your hair. So my listeners, get a trial month of Hims for just $5 today right now while supplies last. See the website for full details and safety information. This would cost hundreds if you went to a doctor or a pharmacy. Go to forhims.com/kinda. That's forhims.com/kinda. forhims.com/kinda. We're also sponsored by Upstart. As most of us have found out the hard way, getting into debt is easy, getting out is hard, especially if your FICO score isn't great. Sky-high interest rates can make it incredibly hard for you to break out of the revolving debt cycle. Thankfully, now there's Upstart.com, the revolutionary lending platform that offers smarter interest rates to help you pay off high-interest credit card debt. Of course, I've talked about it before. Debt sucks, and I had a lot of it as a young kid, and this would have been very helpful as I got out of college and got out of divorce and moved to San Francisco and did a bunch of stuff. So Upstart's there to help. It goes beyond the traditional FICO score when assessing your credit worthiness. They actually reward you based on your education and job history in the form of a smarter interest rate. Upstart believes that you are more than just your credit score. They make it fast, simple, and easy to check your rate in just a few minutes without affecting your credit score. And the best part, once the loan is approved, most people get the funds the very next business day. That's right, the next day! Over 200,000 people have used Upstart to pay off credit cards, student loans, fund their wedding, and make large purchases. Free yourself from the burden of high-interest credit card debt by consolidating everything into one monthly payment with Upstart. See why Upstart is ranked #1 in their category with over 300 businesses on Trustpilot, and hurry to upstart.com/kindafunny to find out how low your Upstart rate is. Checking your rate takes only a few minutes and it won't affect your credit score. That's upstart.com/kindafunny. Tim?
Yes.
Is this your favorite shirt now? I feel like this relaxed shirt gets worn a lot, and I'm not knocking
No,
it.
it's a once a weeker.
Sure. So how do you break out the t-shirts? Do you have just the 5 that you're saying are the A team? Yeah.
I mean, it's more than 5.
Sure.
But like,
Do you keep in a bag that says once is Monday, once is Tuesday?
I mean, usually when I wear clothes, I do get into like modes for stretches of time. I do have just the ones that I just go back to
Sure.
until I get new ones and cycle
Yeah.
them out. But I would say that right now there's 2 filthy casual ones that like will get a slot a week, and then I have a ton of MeUndies, just pure black.
Sure. Yeah.
Those are always in the rotation.
I forgot that we record ads, and I was wondering what transition are you building to?
Now we're for our sponsors. Tim, you like that Relax shirt, don't you? Well, I know you can get it at relax.com.
Yeah, no, big fan of the shirt. Levi's been killing the game. I went there yesterday downtown before I saw Avengers again, and they're really kind of going hard with like what's trending right now, like, you know, the denim jackets being cool again. You can go there, and half the Levi's store now is just dedicated to tailor-made denim jackets and pants and stuff, where like they'll make your own patches, like they'll embroider whatever the fuck you want it to say. Like that shit's cool. And then they have a ton of cool shirts like this, but a ton of them, like all over, really cool stuff. And I'm like, fuck, like I really wish it didn't say Levi's all over things, because otherwise it's really cool design. Levi's, never been a big fan of their logo. The weird looking crown.
Yeah, I feel
Is
you.
it a crown? I don't know.
I don't know actually.
That's
I just associate the Levi's with just the red tag.
the
This
red
is
thing.
Levi's, which I always thought was kind of cool.
Oh no, the bold font. Yeah. At first I thought it was cursive. No, it's just like
No, I think it's just bold. Now.
yeah, boldened.
Are we sponsored by Levi's?
No, we're just talking about things.
Oh, okay.
Things that are
You
happening.
love Levi.
But yeah, the dope shit though.
I forgot. We don't. I've been waiting for you to read the ad, and I'm like, I forgot we did that after.
No, we
Thank
insert
you.
those
Take a
now.
second.
No, it's fine. Don't
I want to give. What's that?
Nothing.
I know we went through this already, but it's hour 15 of podcast for me today. I want to give a shout out to Fernando at the Adidas store in the Westfield Mall.
Shout out Fernando.
Just lovely guy, best friend. Took good care of me and the missus. I went in to get a pair of Stan Smiths because I finally my Reeboks are getting a little long in the tooth, and I was like, I want a pair of Stan Smiths. I want another white pair of shoes, but I'm gonna switch it up to Reeboks or to Adidas. And he was just very, very cool. Hooked it up, much appreciated. Made just nice little nightcap on the end of my day there of shopping. Good day of shopping. He was very, very cool.
Wait, what's a Stan Smith? I don't get it.
Stan Smiths are just all white Adidas. Huh? You've seen them multiple times.
Yeah, I'm sure I have. I just
They're
didn't
the
know
ones
that
that-
was an Adidas brand.
Yeah,
or
they're
something.
sponsored. It's a Stan Smith, like they're just a classic Adidas looking shoe, and they're basically all white. Instead of the 3 stripes, they're perforated stripes, and then they have a little either green or blue or colored like heel.
On the
I got
back.
the blue ones.
So after I went
You
to
can get black
Levi's,
ones.
I went to the Forever 21 across the street, which is like the biggest Forever 21 in the goddamn world. And the reason I did this was at Barrett's engagement, Yusuf was wearing a dope ass bomber jacket, as he often
Yeah,
does.
those are Stan Smiths.
And I
The
was like,
classic
where the
ones are
fuck
great.
did you
Not
get
those-
this? And he was like, oh,
the laces.
Forever
Forever
21.
21.
You should go check it out.
Yeah,
It's super
Those
cool.
are the ones I got.
And then
Wow. Hey, it's up.
it wasn't up though.
That's on Kevin. There you go. That's
There you
Stan
go.
Smiths.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was looking for these bomber jackets. It's 3 stories. Like, have you
bomber
been to this
jackets.
Forever 21 that I'm
No.
talking about
No.
downtown?
never.
It used to be the Tower Records.
I remember
Or
that.
Virgin
That
Mega
makes
store.
one.
Not
Virgin
Tower.
Mega Store. I remember that.
And I'm just looking around. It is not clear at all where the men's section is, where the kids section
Doesn't matter
is.
anymore.
It's just fucking mishmash. I'm like, this is horrible, but so many colors. And I was like, fuck, I am not cool enough to wear 90% of the things in here, but I really, really wish that I was. And I'm making the circle, going up, looking at everything, trying to find these damn bomber jackets. Spoilers, never found them.
Do you think
but-
Yusef lied to you because he didn't want you to have it?
Definitely not.
He
He's
actually
been
bought
very
it at
supportive.
H&M, but he's like, hey, yeah, I got this one from Forever 21.
I don't think that was it. But I went
Sounds
the
like a
same
move
way
he'd
that
do.
Nick was talking about the Sam Smith collection or whatever. There's some woman that I do not know named Allison Wonderland.
Yep, nailed it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sure.
It sounds like a porn star.
It
does
does.
sound like a porn star.
Doesn't seem like it though. But she has this whole collection and it's very colorful and there's a lot of shit going on. I'm like, maybe the bomber jackets are in there. Just had a hunch. I look over. No. It's a Pepsi collection.
Oh,
and I was
God.
just insulted.
Ew.
Gross.
Hundreds of there's clothing items that are just different Pepsi branded things. I'm like, y'all
time.
need to back the fuck off.
Nah, that's
Dude.
cool, man.
It's
That's
like
fucking
such
cool.
aggressive
That's cool.
marketing. I'm like, nah.
That's the same
you
thing.
You can't do this.
That's like the hot thing that like Kodak branded clothing is like huge now as
This is
well.
Alice in Wonderland.
That shit's cool, man.
That's a nice shirt.
That's a cool ass
Pepsi,
fucking
which
shirt.
New
Like,
generation.
Let me
Cut
stop.
off.
Let me stop everyone right
Is that
there.
it? That's all they had?
I'm going to say
One
this.
picture?
This is a bold proclamation for me, okay? And I'll stand by this for the rest of my fucking life.
Their logo's way cooler than Coke.
will never be cool, okay?
Never.
Coke is the OG. Pepsi is the cheap knockoff bullshit brand, okay?
Yeah, but Coke is all blue, or Coke is all red, and
Yeah.
Pepsi's got the blue, white, and red, and that shit just looks cooler.
Listen,
Can I ask one question? Sorry, Greg Miller from KindofFunny.com.
Yes, Greg from the Press Bowl.
Was Pepsi, or I don't, and I'm not even trying to troll. Was Pepsi / Diet Pepsi cool when Ray Charles did? You picked the right one, baby.
No, they tried. That was their last real gasp of like that. Like,
what about in Back to the Future and Back to the Future 2?
Yeah, again, senseless product placement that they had to pay to get into the movie. I feel like they asked Coke, and Coke was like, "We don't care," and they're fine. And Pepsi's like, "We'll pay." Like all that shit they did at the Super Bowl, where they go, where Steve Carell's sitting in the restaurant, and like
Pepsi okay?
Rihanna walks up to him, or whoever the fuck the person was like, "Can I get a Coke? Is Pepsi okay? Is Pepsi okay? Pepsi's more than okay." Nobody's ever thought that.
No one.
People go, "No, it's not okay," but I'll take it because I've already fucking committed to sitting in this restaurant for the next hour.
Well, my friends have already ordered, so now I fucking gotta get it.
They don't care, so
You know what I mean?
Can you look up Kodak clothing?
Yeah.
Kodak, like the picture people?
Yeah.
Is this going to be a cool clothing or bad clothing?
It's cool. Yeah, they're sort of coming back with like people are wearing jackets with like Kodak logos on the back, and
that was a thing a while back.
I don't even know what the Kodak. Okay, now I know what the Kodak logo is.
That was the
makes sense.
Polar.
Well,
I used to have a Polaroid shirt
Those
that
pants
looked
are
like that.
fucking
Those pants are
dope.
hot because it looks like the Kodak VHS
freak,
tape,
man.
right?
This is what I'm talking about. Everything in Forever 21 is this aesthetic.
Yeah.
So much of it, I'm like, I can't pull this shit off, but it's really damn cool.
it's a lot of like very the shirt on the far left. That's kind of more reminiscent of what I'm talking about, where it's like the old VHS tape boxes.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
that's actual like for your camera.
That's
Yeah.
exposure for
That shit's
film.
cool,
yeah,
man.
old school.
It's dope.
We talked about this before, but like a lot of those older brands are coming back. Like now, Fila and Champion are cool again. And I'm like, when did that happen?
I don't know if Champion was ever cool. I had a lot of Champion clothing.
Ever had
The only thing with Champion,
Let me
remember, is
back
that
up.
they were the official jersey. Sometimes
Champion
you
is
had
like New Balance and Champion are the same level. Champion is the kid version of New Balance.
Sorry, let me back up. I misspoke. They're cool now.
Yeah.
I don't think Fila's ever been cool either.
Fila's have been cool.
I don't know about that.
Fila's definitely had moments.
I know the logo for Fila. I don't know what they sell or are.
Fila's like
Shoes.
Onitsuka Tiger, kind of.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
They have like their cool moments.
Only Took a Tiger definitely had a moment
But
in
I
the
wore
early 2000s.
I wore. I used to wear Champion as a kid because like that's what the football jerseys were, back in the day. And I think, speaking of Skechers and Champion, I think Tony Romo is both sponsored by both of those brands. Which I was like, Tony, come on, man, go to like Adidas or Nike or something.
Alice in
man.
Wonderland, come on.
Yeah,
Man, he's taking the money where he can find it. You know what
you're
I mean?
right.
Skechers might as well like wear those like orthopedic shoes.
Skechers
Yeah.
were fucking weird. I feel like that was such a forced marketing thing.
It
of the, like,
totally was.
It's the cool kid shoe. Get the hell out of here.
Get outta here,
Nobody
Skechers.
wanted Skechers.
People want
Everybody
Nikes.
wanted LA Lights, dude, back in the day.
Oh yeah,
Oh
you did.
my
Yeah, you
God.
did. You wanted to light up.
my
yeah.
God.
If you didn't have LA Lights, you were a fucking loser.
Yeah.
That and the
I
pumps.
think I had a
Remember
pair
And
of
the
I
pumps
don't.
shoes?
I didn't have very many. Oh, the pumps were really cool. Made you jump higher.
Yeah. Easier to walk.
Yeah, so much of your day, you're like, it's hard to walk.
Do you guys
God.
remember a time when like there was all those news articles about kids getting like beat up and for their pumps?
No.
There was a time when I was growing up that people would be like,
That happens with everything though. Starter jackets. I remember that crap
Yeah.
too.
Oh, starter jackets are cool.
Which one did
dude.
you have?
I think I had like a Cowboys one, like a dark blue,
Yeah.
like with like light blue accents.
I had a
what
Notre
was the
Dame
starter
one.
jacket?
So they were the big puffy coats with the pouch in front. You put your hands in, you had this Velcro pouch there, and like they were for all the sports teams. I had a Notre Dame one, and I remember what a huge deal it was to buy that because it was like holy shit.
Whoa, you're a
I'm
cool
gonna
kid.
walk into school with a new starter
Big shit.
jacket.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Well, I remember.
Get laid so much. Huh?
I remember
No, I was like in 8th grade, 4th grade, somewhere there.
the kids in junior high. When I went to junior high, I met a whole new class of kids that were in club soccer, and they all had the club soccer Adidas jackets that weren't track jackets. They were like actual soccer jackets, so they had a little bit more to them. And I was like, these are so fucking cool because they were colored to the club, like the colors of their club, like soccer team. So some of them had burgundy ones, some of them had black, some of them had blue. I was like, this is so cool. How do I get that? And they were like, you have to
play
get off your
soccer.
lazy
And
ass
you're
and play
like,
soccer.
no.
I was like, I don't want that. And then lo and behold, I just found one and bought them. They're like, you're a fucking poser. But they were so expensive for the time.
Such a narrative.
They were so expensive that like I just remember thinking, like I actually as a child was like, I don't think my mom should spend $200 on this jacket, but I made her anyway, and she was like, are you sure you want this? And then I was like, kind of, I think I had gotten it. It was after it was cool, and then I was embarrassed by. It's that stupid shit you do when you're a kid. Or like,
Sure.
I just want to
Dumb,
fit
man.
in.
Kids are
I just
so
want to fit
dumb.
in. Say that and Janko jeans, where like I bought a pair of Jankos and never wore them because I was like, I can't pull these off. And my mom's like, you made me look forever to find these fucking jeans, and you tried them on, and you had to have them like, because I was a short, fat kid. So like it was impossible to find any sort of designer or cool jean. And finally we found them, and I made my mom buy them, and I never wore them. And she was like, I fucking hate this kid.
That's how I was with
Hate
Dickies
this
shorts. Dickies shorts were like
They're
the
a big
thing
deal.
you
They're a
bought
big
if
deal.
you were
Yeah.
like
If you played Tony Hawk's
if you
Pro
were
Skater.
a punk rock like Blink-182 fan, and so
all Dickies though, right? Like Dickie shirts and
no. So like my whole
He's like, no, get the fuck out of here with that. No.
I'll fuck off. Sorry.
no like the thing you had to do if you were a true like pop punk kid back in the day was like you want to be like Blink-182, you want to look like Mark Hoppus and Tom DeLonge. There was a warehouse kind of like in a city maybe 40 minutes away that sometimes your family would go to shop, and I knew that they had a Dickies store there.
Sure.
And I was like, oh my God, if you're there, please, like dark gray, maybe like blue, like navy blue, white, whatever. And then you would couple that with like the brightest, like at first it was like Hurley and just all the skate brands.
Yeah.
You wanted like really bright clothes with like bracelets and shit like that. But then Blink-182 went into their darker phase, and it was all black, like Atticus and fucking what were the other brands that they wore? I mean, they were still wearing like black Hurley shirts.
Were they all wearing Arnett's? Because I remember everyone
No,
always
I don't
wore
know what that is.
like the big black sunglasses that like
You
what
think
you
of
call
blue blockers?
No, not blue, but they kind of Arnett's were just like the skater punk like sunglasses that weren't like if you didn't want to wear Oakleys because they were lame, so you wore Arnett's or like Dragonflies. Like remember those sunglasses?
Oh, Dragonflies! I remember that.
Like anytime you'd walk into like a Tilly's and you'd see
Shout out to Tilly's.
You'd see the sunglasses that were behind the glass case. Those are the ones I'm talking about. We're like, oh my God, those are so cool.
Yeah, Mark Hoppus had the Pumas, so I had to buy Puma shoes, and then Tom DeLonge came out with his Macbeth shoes, and I was like, I gotta get those fucking Macbeths. Where do we get them? You buy them online from some website you've never really heard of, and like it may not be super safe.
This is the one upside of going to Catholic school your whole life is that I just never had any. I didn't not care. Walmart. The biggest thing probably was that I'm sure you'll all believe it. This is gonna sound unbelievable, but I'm sure you'll all believe it. Is that little Greg Miller growing up didn't like how jeans felt on his legs.
You set me up for it. I still didn't expect you to say something that stupid.
Just did not like the feel. So if it was not a uniform day, little Greg Miller already showed up in sweatpants.
Yeah, I believe that. Audio listeners, I want to also point out that Greg's wearing some sort of like neoprene
my Portillo's
Portillo's shirt
Yeah,
right now.
it's like a dry fit too. Feeling.
yeah,
I can go work out if I wanted to.
feel it. Okay.
No.
So yeah, I grew up never. Well, I mean, eventually I broke down because jeans were cool. People wore jeans, but then it was the same thing.
People wore jeans.
Whenever.
As if it's like some weird.
I wondered that. I felt like it
What a
was
weird
like
fad, people wearing jeans.
We were deep into it. Like it was like. You're like people are calling me on this. Like, why are you always wearing sweatpants? Why don't you wear jeans? Like, I don't hate them. I don't like how they feel. That's a weird thing to
Man.
say. Whatever.
I mean, to be fair though, given the choice, if all was equal and sweatpants were as cool as denim, wouldn't we all pick sweatpants?
Sure.
They're
Yeah,
way more
Now
comfortable.
you can get away with it, your joggers and all that stuff.
you're
You know,
fine.
what I mean?
The joggers,
But
yeah.
like
I wear
again,
joggers all
growing
the
up,
time.
it was that all my jeans were like Wrangler from Walmart or whatever. Right? I didn't care. Nobody
Hell
knew.
yeah.
Nobody paid attention to that kind of crap. And then it's the other thing too. I feel the starter jacket was a big deal. You talked about like never wearing it. Starter jackets everybody wore. I wore mine, and I remember I got a lot of use out of it because, again, yeah, you're investing. I think they were $150 if memory sounds right for a starter jacket. I remember that was a big investment, but I didn't grow out of it for a while. That was the problem. You know, you get kids these clothes, they grow out of them in 2 seconds. But I've been wearing Converse since the first pair of shoes I needed to lace up. Got those. Cried a lot because I couldn't tie them.
Yeah.
Because you know how to do that.
Naturally.
Yeah, exactly. It was upsetting.
I wanted Converse too, but
Understand.
I ended up getting Converse after a long time of never wearing them.
Sure. Yeah,
And
if you're not born
I
into
didn't
it.
like them.
Oh, yeah. You
But,
got
like,
they are
the
a
flat
very
foot. You got the
uncomfortable
flat
shoe.
foot. Yeah.
Not only the uncomfortable, but I just didn't like the way they looked on me.
Sure.
Like I was, a lot of my friends wore Converse. I was like, oh, I might as well get a pair. And then it ended up being like, I never fucking wore them. They were also high tops. And they were like, kind of like a teal-ish color, like a dark teal aquamarine.
Sure.
And I was like, I don't really like these. I should not have asked for these. And I felt kind of bad because I never fucking wore them.
Yeah,
I
no,
had
that'll happen.
So many pairs of Chucks.
Yeah.
Like, in every fucking color.
Yeah, me too. Growing up, I was all crazy with it. Had the American flag ones, had the red ones, blue ones, light blue ones.
We got a lot of Vans now, right, Kev?
Yeah, I'm all about Vans now.
Yeah, you're about that van life?
I switched over.
What happened? Why the change? Why'd you give up on it?
So originally I had started with Vans.
Oh, okay.
I had ones that were like navy blue with an orange, like a super neon orange, the Van check thing.
Sure.
And at some point, I think my sister got me the checkered
Slip-ons?
high tops.
Oh, high tops.
The high tops.
Classics.
And on Chucks. And then I switched over. And I had a bunch of different high tops. And
The
then
problem
back to
with
Vans.
wearing Chucks your entire life is that now when I do have to put on another shoe, like when we thought my knee was getting hurt by the Chucks, and I had to try on other gym shoes, they all look like clown shoes.
like Tiger
They all
Woods.
look gigantic. You know what I mean? Because in reality, the Chuck is just a layer of skin, right? It's like I'm wearing Symbiote on my foot. You put on a real shoe though, that's like I'm wearing a tank armor.
We got to get you some dad like K-Swisses.
No, I'm not giving up.
That's why
Those were cool for a
that's
minute.
one thing about Chucks that I started to not like Onitsuka Tigers for, because I was like for 5 or 6 years I was like that's all I would buy was Onitsuka Tigers, but I got really tired of them coming out with colorways that I just didn't like anymore, and they kept on coming out with weird like mustard and fucking bronze. Like, what are these fucking colors, dude? Just give me like a white with really cool colored stripes.
I used to
Like,
have the red, white, and blue ones. The white base
I just
with
want
the red.
really,
Yeah.
and it got to the point where I was rebuying old colorways
Oh,
because
yeah.
I just
Fuck yeah.
like the new ones that they're coming out with. I'm not digging. I don't want navy blue, dark navy blue shoes. Like, give me black and a bright color, or like white and a bright color or something. And then so I eventually switched over to these Nike Air Spans because they're not as big as like Dunks or anything like that, but they're also. I have big legs, and
Yeah, you
with
do.
the Onitsuka Tigers, it made my feet look so small, and so I needed like Nikes to kind of like counterbalance. You know what I mean?
yeah, try to balance it out.
Yeah.
Balance it out there.
I also feel like the Tigers are not. They don't offer a ton of support because they're based largely off of like a wrestling shoe, so they
Yeah.
have very little tread.
It's a wrestler running shoe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I wore like one pair of them and I'm like, these are not very comfortable for me. Same with and it breaks my heart to say this, but same with like the normal lace up Vans. They just fuck my feet up. They're not very comfortable at all. That's why I'm going more toward like a bigger tennis shoe with a lot more sole to it, because we do a lot of walking around and standing.
That's why I love Jordans so much. I'm one of the main
Very
reasons.
comfortable.
But like, there's a lot of padding going on in there. But yeah, Bay Area is such a different beast than all this, because like it really was a flow chart of a yes, no, what path you're going down. Where it's like there was the punk rock route where it's like, okay, you wear Vans and you're going down. It's either Vans or Converse. Cool, there's an outfit that goes with that. But then on the more urban side of it, it really was a split of. There's this place called Anchor Blue.
Oh, I know Anchor Blue.
Where it
I
was a
remember Anchor
California
Blue.
brand.
Yeah.
Where it was just a jean place, and you'd go get jeans, and they would.
I feel like that turned into Old Navy eventually.
It
Maybe
got
I'm
bought
crazy.
by them.
That
Old
makes
Navy
sense.
bought Anchor Blue and just like put it out of his fucking
Yeah,
misery.
fuck you.
But it's where you'd go and you buy jeans, and it's not by like style. Their style is just slim, straight, baggy,
Husky.
beyond baggy, way beyond baggy.
Really?
And that was the one everyone got, because it was just like this place was designed essentially around. There was two sides. There's the punk rock kids getting the skinny, and then there's the urban kids getting the fucking way beyond baggy. I had way too many of those, as you can imagine. But then there's the step above that, though, where, you know, I mean, even to this day, I like my Jordans trying to match with my shirt coloring wise, right?
Sure.
But back then, it'd be all about you have to match the colors with everything. So the shoes with the weird colorways would be exciting, because that would introduce a whole new colorway into your lifestyle, into your closet, because you need to match from head to toe. So there was these jeans called Gerbeaus. Kev, can you bring this up?
God, I know Gerbeaus.
The Martin Francis Gerbeaus, which were these
How
were
the
the
hell-
hotness. Gerbeau,
G-I-R-B-A-U-D.
Wow, would not have gone that
Not
way.
all
thought
of you
Jen,
guys.
Jabot.
not all of you guys-
G-I-R.
Uh-huh.
B-A-U-D. Jeans.
Got it.
And the thing about these jeans is they were baggy, and then they would come with straps around the middle of the leg that were colored, going down the leg. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
So bring
my
this up, Kev.
God,
This
those
looks
are
like John
fucking
Cena
hideous.
stuff.
Those are hideous.
These are hideous.
Yeah.
Never
So, but
wear
you see how
those.
it's
Give me
like,
that hot orange one. Hot orange. Yeah, one more.
One more over.
There you go.
Those are.
That looks like
Oh,
you
yeah.
work in construction.
Yeah.
So yeah, they had them in every single color.
You
And
look
you'd
like
get
the new
these
Ghostbusters.
with the colored with Jordans that matched with whatever sports team jersey you
Are
happened
they
to match.
fucking? Wait, do they
fantastic.
do they come with an elastic band around the waist? Because I could get behind that.
I mean, not the waist, but
they do look, the ones the orange ones definitely look elastic.
So it's Velcro.
they
There's
look like
Velcro that you would
bulletproof.
pull.
These are hideous.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
got a
sure
little-
there are
oh, no,
many,
it's just the-
many pictures of me and Cool Greg
Sprinkling.
in
Why
these.
is-
Oh yeah,
No
my
one-
brother was all about these because everybody at his school was all about these, and I was too young to really care about them
Jesus
when they
Christ,
were
those are hideous.
the hotness.
It kind of looks like Superboy, which I'm into.
Scroll up, Kev.
Because I'm older. I'm
That
a couple
picture of
years
the guy
older.
wearing
than,
them?
I'm a bit older than you,
Left.
Tim, and I feel like this fad was happening when I was way younger.
Wait, but no one wore it like this, right?
You know they
Sure,
did,
some
but
people
I'm
did.
reading this. There's a nostalgia-driven underground market. There's this, and there's a picture to the right. Yeah. So
But, like,
this is
no
what
one-
this was what the modern version would look
Looks like
like.
something Grimecraft would wear.
This is cool.
I
I
like
get behind
that.
this.
It looks like Superboy.
Let's bring him back, baby.
Oh my god! I was like, are his genes connected to something? Does he have a power pack?
That's what I
in
thought
him?
too. I thought it was he was being inflated. I thought
that's what it was too.
Hey,
Like,
Kev, do me another favor. Look up Lot 29.
Lot 29 sounds familiar.
LOT, and then the number 2, number 9.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, one of the things that I loved about that picture that I posted on Instagram was I'm wearing one of those graphic tees that were just the obnoxious, like not quite the ones with all the tigers and shit. Ed Hardy, not quite Ed Hardy, but like the knockoff
Close
Nordstrom
enough.
brand Ed Hardy,
Yeah.
where it was like full fucking chest and almost to the back. Oh, terrible!
Yeah.
Look at how hideous that fucking
Is
shirt
it a
is.
tiger?
I don't know what it was, Kevin. It's just, and that was my going out
You
shirt.
look like nobody I would want to know.
God, it's
Dude, I showed this picture to my wife and I was like, this is what you fell in love with.
Isn't that weird?
Because this is probably around the time that I met her. And she was like,
Man.
Jesus, what did I do to my life?
Crazy.
Terrible.
Did you add the Vegas thing now? Yeah. Okay.
No, I put that in when I tagged it because I think it was in Vegas. I just thought it'd be funny.
Lot
For the
29
three
stuff's
people
pulled
that
up.
remember this picture.
Do you need the jeans?
So Lot 29, the jeans were the main thing, so you can get that in the middle row on the left, Kev.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Middle row.
Middle row.
The
all
one
the
that
way
says
left there.
Nelly.
God, yeah, I was talking about this the other day.
Those
Yeah,
are
we were talking about it.
fucking
It's like,
hideous.
so Lot 29, they had a branded thing with Looney Tunes. And it was the fucking hotness to have like these weird ass things where it's like, it started off just like, oh, it says Tasmanian Devil and Marvin the Martian who has a little space gun. But pretty quickly turned into Marvin the Martian fucking with Halloween, just
Yeah.
like real guns.
Yeah, I was talking to Tim, and I forgot
Like
who
Tweety,
else.
go up to the Tweety. top
Yeah.
left.
Like that Tweety,
Yeah.
that thug looking Tweety, I've seen so many times at the
Hideous.
local mall. It's called El Plaza Mall, and I don't even think it's open anymore. But it was like the cheap bargain mall. Like you were cool if you went to La Plaza, but if you went to El Centro Mall was like the really really kind of bad and dirty mall that
Sure, you
like
know,
people didn't like or whatever. But that's where they had. Oh God, what's the store with all the like the fucking
Spencer Gifts.
Spencer's, yes,
Oh,
of
God,
course they had a
Spencer's
Spencer's
were
there.
great.
But they always had the little stands in the middle of the walkways.
Sure, yeah.
And there's guys doing the airbrushing on T-shirts
Oh, yeah,
and
oh,
shit
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And every fucking design had like a Tweety with like a blunt in his mouth. Or like, it's like, what? This is a weird
Hey,
crossing.
man, our cartoons grew up. Our cartoons grew
Yeah,
up
they
with
did.
us.
They
That
sure
was what it's
did.
all
Became
about.
potheads.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All of them.
Yeah, I never had to chase any of this. Once in a while, I'd buy
Neither did I.
a pair of
Not that.
superhero shoes. You know what I mean? That'd be a thing as a kid. Again, I remember once at Aunt Dell's house having a new pair of Spider-Man shoes or whatever, and stepping in mud and getting muddy and crying.
And
And that was when
you
Aunt
cried,
Dell. That's
yeah.
when Aunt Dell was literally like, "You gotta stop." Like,
There's a problem
You're getting
here, and
too
it's
old for
you.
this. Yeah, you're getting too old for this.
Before the punk rock days, there was the moment where I was really into like rap music and playing basketball, and I was like buying like I would wear like shitty fucking fake gold chains.
Fucking
and
Allen
shit.
Iverson was your
Yeah,
god.
Allen Iverson was the god.
And
yeah,
one.
The whole and one mixtape culture. Oh my god! And a lot of that was just my brother because that's what he was into in school.
Of course.
Yeah.
But then it was that fateful fucking day where I first listened to Blink-182 that just branched me off on a
Sure.
totally different
They
path.
saved you. They saved
totally
you.
different path. Yeah, in a way they saved me. Yeah, but or I could have been a baller, shot caller,
No.
Well,
20-inch blades.
not
on
sure
the
if that
baller.
would have been in the future for you.
You never know, man. You
I
never
do know.
Not giving up
That's,
yet.
Okay, hey, you know what? KFAF for streaming.
I was while I was watching over the weekend watching Overwatch, one of the players came in and he subbed in and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's the veteran Cool Matt was his name or whatever." And he's like the veteran of the team on the Houston Outlaws and he's 30 years old. And all the other gamers are like all the other players on the team are like 22, 23, some are 18, some are 19.
Sure.
He was 30. I was like, "Fuck, I did not know he was 30."
What's Fatality doing? Is he playing in the Overwatch League?
No, I don't know what Fatality is up to actually. But then they mentioned somebody in chat was like, "Oh, Andy, it was Mike Toggle on Games." I was like, "Oh, dude, we're just 31. Like we could still do it."
Sure.
And I was like, "I'm still holding out for
Cinderella
the NBA, man.
story.
Still holding out for the NBA. You know.
Yeah.
I'd rather go that path than pro gamer.
You know,
It's there.
50-50.
It's there for
6
us,
and 1,
dude.
half dozen the other, really.
When are we gonna do a KFAF bit out on the basketball court?
I think
Where
we tried
actually
that
shoot
once and we
basketball?
got kicked off because it's a junior high, and they're like, "You guys are too old to be here."
No.
No.
Oh, I didn't like that sound.
If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Kind of Funny podcast. Each and every week, 4 best friends gather around this table, each bringing a random topic or whatever from their lives to talk to you about it and have some fun. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny where you can be part of the show. You can get your names read on the show. You can just toss us a couple bucks and get the shows early. If you have no bucks to toss our way, it's no big deal. You can wait till Friday when the show goes up as a big video and big MP3 on podcast services around the globe. And of course, youtube.com/kindafunny and Rooster Teeth
I like these hypotheticals. It's cool.
Thank you. Yeah, only did the one.
Yeah.
But there's that one too. You almost made it, O'Shea. But then I got cold feet because Joshua was like, his was already used apparently in some other show.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know where people are pulling these documents from and using it, so I just stopped.
I think it was the chat. I don't know.
Okay, well, that's fair. So we're gonna do O'Shea's thing here in the post show because there's a pre and post show, of course, for Kind of Funny podcast on patreon.com/kindoffunny.
And the post show
live.
today.
Yeah.
I want Andy to tell a story of something that
so we're not
happened
gonna do O'Shea's question.
on a trip to Buffalo Wild Wings.
I've told this story before on the podcast.
Are we
don't remember.
Are we in the post show?
Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.